After 4 years, the Splatoon European Championship is back in action. Teams from 12 regions across Europe are already splatting it out in regional Splatoon 3 tournaments consisting of turf wars and anarchy battles. The winning teams from each region will go on to compete in the European final in Frankfurt, Germany. which team will be crowned the 2023 European champion and take home this incredible trophy. Please stay tuned to our social channels for more info on regional tournaments in your country, as well as news on the finals.
Good morning, good afternoon, and potentially good evening wherever you are. Welcome back to the European Splatoon 3 Championship 2023. It is day 2 of the Nordic qualifiers. My name is Bowie. I am joined once again by Charlie Astronaut to my right to take you through all the fun games that we're going to be having here. It's been a really exciting day 1, and we're going to be locking in our final competitors and teams for that Nordic finals in Stockholm at the beginning of September. So if you are a big fan of Splatoon, here is the place to be. Charlie, how are you doing today? What did you think of yesterday? How are you just generally doing?
Doing wonderful. Yesterday was such a fun day. We got to see some amazing games and amazing teams. There were lots of incredible highlights. So let's have a look at how the groups went yesterday.
Indeed, yeah. We obviously had 5 teams per group. Each played 4 games, and that top team, the number 1 seed in each group, will have already booked their place in the finals at the beginning of September. However, the 2nd and 3rd place team, so in this case, P Inc. and Blåbärs Siltetoy, are going to be as part of today's bracket to try and take home one of those final 2 spots in the finals. Of course, 4th and 5th, Devad & Co. and Drain Damage did drop out of the tournament yesterday, played some great games, but didn't make it to the bracket stage. So thank you very much to them for playing. That was Group A though, so yeah, Hanky Kanto winning that one. On the other side, was a very interesting thing between Knoss and Yifla, those that 1st and 2nd place. Yifla were seeded to win their group, but Knoss got that victory, and they made their way to the finals. So yeah, that means that Yifla and Polans Palabion are going to be playing today in our bracket, with the Danish Shrimps and Cladbomb dropping out of the tournament yesterday as well. So it was a very exciting first day. With that said, we've got 2 teams who've made it to the finals, and we've got a bracket to play today. So why don't we have a look at that bracket? Charlie, take us through these games today.
Yeah, we're going to be having a double elimination bracket. On the winners bracket side, we're going to be starting off with Yifla versus Blåbärs Siltetoy. And later on, we're going to be playing P Inc. and Polans Palabion. After that, we're going to have 2 teams that qualify out of this bracket. It is a double elimination bracket, so you do get that extra life if you lose one of your matches.
That's always a helpful thing, because if you just have like one moment where you aren't playing your best, you can come back and win it. So yeah, we're going to be doing those winners games first. We'll drop down to the losers side to set up 2 final games. The winner of the winners side finals will qualify, and then the winner of the losers side finals will qualify. Though there will not be a grand finals today, we're only going to be playing the 5 games to see who's going to make it to the finals next month. So 5 matches with a whole variety of maps and modes, similar to yesterday, you may notice. Yeah, it's definitely a really exciting thing to have those first seeds go and get floated, to have a 2nd and 3rd bracket, to have a lot more of that clawing and fighting. So yeah, let's have a little chat about that first game then. So we're going to be having Yifla versus the Blåbärs Siltetoy. Excuse me for my pronunciation. I don't speak Norwegian. Yeah, so Yifla obviously came 2nd in their group, seeded to win, but had to make it to the bracket stage today. So it's going to be interesting to see how this game goes, because Blåbärs were playing really nicely all day yesterday.
Yeah, most definitely. It's going to be super interesting to see who comes out on top here. Yifla only losing that 1 match. So having a really good showing yesterday. Blåbärs Siltetoy also having a good showing, ending up with a 2-2 score. But playing some incredibly good games and close games. We'll have to see who comes out on top in this matchup.
Yeah, so I should note as well that the 2nd seed of one group plays the 3rd seed of the other, so that to see kind of where it goes from there. But Blåbärs definitely had the chances to win yesterday. It was some unfortunate moments in some of their harder games, but I definitely think they're a team that can get some upsets here. So I'm very excited to see what happens. Right, we should probably have a look at the roster for each of our teams, and we can see who's playing on both sides. So this is Yifla here, multinational. The only country not represented is Norway. in Yifla. So they've got Degno, Nami, Reyes, Raz, and Aim will be
Yeah, and I want to
taking part
mention
in
as
their
well,
team.
yesterday Nami being a key player with that Kraken, that special coming out, and just opening up space for Yifly to be able to take a strong push.
Yeah, there was a lot of plays for sure. Degno obviously making good use of the Inkjet as well to kind of put those power plays, a lot of pressure in. There's a lot of synergy within Yifla yesterday for sure. And their opponents, we've got the All Norway team: Mustafa, Ellie or Eli, Roy, Ina, and Evelyn. So yeah, I know that yesterday there was mostly Eli, Roy, Ina, and Mustafa, Evelyn. I know their sub. You know, we never know, might get brought in. But if they're confident with their team, it's going to be going ahead. So I haven't actually seen any subs this weekend. Just been the main team playing. Subs usually are either if someone can't make it or if they want to try a different strategy. So we haven't seen that strategic sub just yet. But we'll have to see how things go as we push forward.
Yeah, most definitely. It'll be interesting to watch out for these teams as well. Blåberg Syltetøy, 3 of their players having played together previously. They will definitely have that synergy and that experience with them that is going to help them in this matchup. We'll have to see what weapons they choose to bring out. Let's have a look at the stages for this first map.
Yes, indeed. For each round, we have, first off, we start with a best of 3 turf war. So obviously, turf war, quite an erratic, unpredictable mode. So it's nice to have that little best of 3 to kind of allow that fight back if one game goes a bit awry. That'll be on Flounder Heights and Brinewater Springs. And if we go to the 3rd game, Mincemeat Metalworks. And then we hit the Anarchy battles. So that turf war best of 3 counts to 1 point to the best of 5. And then we hit Anarchy.
Yeah, with Anarchy, we're going to be playing Splat Zones on Hagglefish Market. Love that combo. Then we're going to be moving on to Rainmaker on Undertow Spillway and potentially Clam Blitz on Museum d'Alfonsino and Tower Control on Eeltail Alleyway if the match goes the distance.
Indeed. Now, yesterday we had a bunch of like 3-0 wipes in the early rounds. We never actually got to see those combinations of Clam Blitz on D'Alfonsino and Tower Control on Eeltail. So it's going to be interesting to see if we can see that and actually kind of see what the players can do with that particular combination. Because as we were saying yesterday, the map and mode in different combinations can drastically change your approach to a stage or to a particular objective.
Yeah,
so
most definitely. I think it's really important to note all the different maps. They have each some tips and tricks, some small things to note that are going to be key to how you play, and obviously each mode is different as well, so we'll have to see how they approach each of those modes.
Yeah, so let's we're gonna, obviously the players are just getting ready, they're readying up and preparing themselves to jump into game, but let's just do a couple of quick maybe some quick predictions. What do you think? Who do you think is going to win this game?
I think this is a really tough one. I think Yifly have shown that they're a really strong contender. They only dropped 1 match yesterday, and that match was incredibly close, going the whole distance. So I think we'll have to see if Blåberg Syltetøy can bring it in this match now. I think it'll be a tough one for them. I think Yifly's probably got the upper hand, but they could definitely go the whole way.
The thing is, as well, think? I mean, Yifla definitely got upset in their group, so you have to say that they should be quite a strong contender here. But I think it's one of those things where each group had a different feel, because I think there were certain parts of the seeding were a little bit tighter on one side, but that doesn't mean that just because Blåberg are currently the 5th seed, they may be able to make some upsets on the opposing group. But we're jumping into our first game of the day, our best of 3 turf war. And then we'll see how it looks as we hit our Anarchy battles. So, yeah.
Yeah. Looking at the team comps right now, Blåberg Syltetøy bringing out some interesting compositions here. We see the Glugadulis Mustafa very comfortable on that weapon. It's a great choice, but I'm not entirely sure if this is going to be enough ink, just enough paint output on this team for turf. We'll have to see if they're able to splat their opponents and keep control.
Yeah, I think they're wanting to play a little bit more of an aggressive game, just go for the actual I guess number control rather than immediate and ground control, and to kind of push from there. But there is there's plenty of time to kind of adjust to this. Yeah, Eli rolling around there. I think he was managing to get a nice quick splat. throwing out a quick bomb as well. Just yeah, doing like nice kind of skirmishes here and there, pushing their position well. So far though, it looks like good stuff from Yifla, who've been able just to do a little bit more of like general wider space control. You can see how much like how much general coverage they have in the back half, as we're now vying for that mid.
Yeah, they're doing a good job at spreading out, doing a good job at coming and pushing the opponent really strongly with flanks and things like that. You see Mustafa here though with the Booyah bomb, doesn't able to get a splat from that, but it gets them some turf control now. Mustafa pushing in to try and get the splat against Raz. Raz running away, does get the splat on Eli, but Mustafa still lurking. Mustafa decides to jump out of that situation. Probably the right call there.
Yeah, sometimes retreat is the better option, you know, run the whole live to fight another day type approach. Raz getting a splat there on the right-hand side. Can't quite see the name of the person who went down.
Yeah, got splatted Roy right there.
Roy, thank you. Yes.
Yeah, this is interesting as well. Degno now using that inkjet. Not able to get anyone with it. We'll see Mustafa not able to get the spawn camp either.
Yeah, you can see as well, if you're looking at the specials, Blåbærs are looking to build into a nice big special power play. They have, you know, they're close to 100 on a bunch of their players, where Yifla have just used theirs. Going to be recovering a little bit, so hopefully Blåbærs can maybe hold on to that and push the advantage here. When we have 45 seconds left on the clock, there's two members down for Yifla. So Blåbærs here maybe wanting to push a little bit further, but Mustafa getting taken down in the corner by Degno.
Yeah, I think this is perfect timing as well. 30 seconds left. Got to really secure that final push. Looks like Blåbærs a bit on the back foot right now, unable to get into the middle. Degno doing a great job with that ballpoint splat and just raining down pressure, but Mustafa able to get one splat. Does get 5 for it though.
Yeah, Nami just pushing back a little bit. It does look like Yifla have mid control and are pushing in with the last 10 seconds on the clock. Good stuff from Yifla here in this first game. I have to say that is going to be theirs. A lot of pressure towards that end part of the game. Very nicely handled. Yeah, it's a clear.
Yeah, unfortunate there for Blåbærs. They had good pressure for a lot of the game. It was a very contested mid, but just those final 30 seconds, losing the push and getting spotted.
Yeah, I think, you know, they did have their specials for building around that kind of like 40-second mark left on the clock, but couldn't actually utilize it. I think there was a couple of were being held, a lot of pressure just kind of holding players back from using it as a whole. One of them went down and got splattered in a general skirmish as well, so you know, losing that pressure immediately. And sometimes that's just how it goes. Like games like this have these minute windows of opportunity where a good decision or a good choice that you make can instantly become a bad one, or or if you're waiting and that patience is good, that patience can sometimes be a bit too much, and then you lose your opportunity.
No, you can't be too passive. You gotta be the one pushing the plays, taking those initiatives to go into the opposing turf.
Indeed. Looking forward to our second game, though. We're going to Brinewater Springs for our second game of Turf War. Now, Yifla had a pretty strong, showing in that first round. So it's all on Blåbærs here to kind of fight back. But different map. You'll have to see exactly if it plays into the favor of Blåbærs. But yeah, so far Yifla looking strong.
Yeah, Blåbærs today we saw that ballpoint splatling there on Eli. Eli played it yesterday as well, did a great job with it. I think this map will benefit that weapon a lot. They'll have lots of angles to peek out from and hopefully get some of those key splats that they're really looking to secure in this game.
Yeah. Okay, one player remaining to ready up, and as soon as they're good, we will be jumping into our second game. Remember, this is for winners' side of our double elimination bracket. One of our teams who does lose here, it will not be the end of the line for them. I know it's early days in the series, but just keeping that reminder up. So, game 2, as we said, Blåbærs with all the work to play for. So yes, that central zone, those two, good ramps on those sides to fight down. Again, opting for the 3+1 option. Yifla, though, definitely covering all of the top side of that spawn, where it looked like the Blaubash member to stay behind. Unfortunately, didn't actually take down the top bit. Again, Nami with that Kraken throwing out a bit of chaos in the early part of the game.
Yeah, able to get a nice push with it, unable to get a splat, but still managed to push them back so that their teammates could come up and secure those splats. Now we see Blaubash Syltetøy trying to get out of their spawn. Nice splash wall right there, though instantly countered. We'll have to see if they're able to move their way out. That Booyah Bomb definitely opening up some space for them as they try and get back to the mid.
Lots of hot contested ground at the base of that ramp, which is not good news for Blaubash. They need to get into that center, push their opponents back. A splat is down on both teams now as Nami goes into the Kraken once again, pressurizing a little bit, goes off, goes a bit wayward, falls back, knowing that the play was over. Splash will help them just get in there. Degno with that inkjet once again. 3 splats down against Blaubash, giving Yifla all the space to play with.
Yeah, beautiful plays right there, being able to pick off a couple of players and secure their push up towards their spawn. Choosing not to overcommit, staying pretty strategic towards the middle, not wanting to give Blaubash Syltetøy any space to get out.
Ina as well, just jumping back just to kind of cover the rest of spawn that was left behind. Which is a very, very key bit of coverage, but Nami in the back takes down Roy. So much space taken up because of that Kraken. Excellent play once again.
Nami keeps cycling these Krakens. So many Krakens. We've already seen a couple of them, and they've always been eventful. They've been beautiful pushes from Yifla to try and get into the opposing spawn.
Yeah, and there's an ink strike on the back line. Seems pretty, did a little bit of coverage, but this is, again, the opportunity that Blaubash need, or they need to find an opportunity soon. They're 2 members down once again. Quick respawns there. Degno just with that long range.
Yeah, Degno with beautiful positioning here, forcing Blaubash Syltetøy to back up towards their spawn. Great positioning, not leaving themselves open to a counterattack.
Right. See here right now, Blaubash with a good push, trying to just fight back towards that center. There is no one down on either team just yet. I say that one splat goes down. Eli now with that inkjet looking to try and fight back, but on the side you can see Nami once again flanking Blaubash as the last few seconds come through. You have to say that might be the end of it right now, as there is. Oh, it looks so close though.
It looks incredibly close going into those final moments. I am not sure if that was enough ink for Blaubash Syltetøy. It looks like Yifla might be taking this one. But a really good push at the end there to make it really close.
Gosh, yeah, they did fight back, but I think one of those things maybe they just ran out of steam. That wonderful flank by Yifla on the lower right side, the lower left side, just allowing them to stop that push. I think that was perhaps the key point there, and as you say, it wasn't enough towards the end.
Yeah, Nami here with that Kraken, absolutely beautiful. Definitely being used to great effect multiple times throughout this match. Eli also on that inkjet.
This was that play towards the end.
Get some turf. Unfortunately, Yifla was able to flank them from the side. I think that flank played a crucial role in making sure Yifla secured that match.
Yeah, indeed. It was just enough to fight back as Blaubash were looking pretty positive towards the end. But, the timer was not on their side. Yifla take that first point. They're now 1-0 up in this best of 5. So 2 more wins for them, and they will advance to winners finals. Pretty nice looking game. So, what is up next? If I can remind myself, it's going to be Splat Zones. So Splat Zones on Hagglefish Market.
Nice.
Which we're into right now. Yeah. Oh, well, yeah, we're going to go over just how Splat Zones works in case you are joining us for the first time. If you're not quite sure about this particular mode, it's similar to Turf War, that there is a zone that you have to control, but it's slightly more focused. You can see it's either 1, maybe 2 zones on the map that you need to completely take control, at which point a counter from 100 will slowly decrease as you gain points by having control. And then you want to hold on to that, because what happens if you lose control, Charlie?
Yeah, if you lose control, you will get this penalty added onto your score. You'll have to get through that penalty first before you can decrease your actual score. So definitely is a helpful tool to tack on that huge penalty if you grab control from a team that's been pushing the zone for a really long time.
The big thing is that, you know, sometimes if they get a big push, sure, they've got a big push, but that penalty like protects you from a knockout for at least a little while and gives you that extra bit of leeway to get to, you know, to mount your own comeback. So it's an interesting. It is an interesting one. I do like it, you know, just because it makes that localized focus is so important. But it's important to obviously not just beeline it and like see red, because you do obviously have to still push behind it, push your opponent back. You know, find ways to prevent them from getting to it.
I'm curious to see which weapons will be chosen for this particular map and mode combo. Hagglefish Market being really good for that crab tank, being able to lob those shots over to your opponent's side right behind the zone, forcing them to back off a little bit and respecting that crab tank. So we'll have to see what these teams choose to bring out.
It is a very, I wouldn't say centralizing, but it's a rather important special, you know, those the crab tanks being thrown out as well. And I think it's nice to see, at least in this game, with the tactical special, we were talking about it yesterday as we're jumping into our second game, how the tactical is quite a prevalent special as well, being able to give a variety of passive buffs to your team. And how that can be utilized in particular scenarios, just to kind of give yourself the upper hand and win those skirmishes.
Yeah, most definitely. We see pretty similar weapons being chosen here. Ina on that 10 to attack splatter shot. Ina is a hero shot main, so a weapon she's very comfortable with. Ooh, early crab tank right there from Yifly. As I mentioned, putting a lot of pressure with those lob shots on the opponent, but it's not enough. Blow by Sutete with the early zone grab. Eli picking up with that. Ancient manages to get raised with it.
Yeah, that's really, really nice. You can see they've pushed so far behind it as well. Mustafa as well getting out. That one splatting Nami. And another splat there. Double splat for Mustafa. Really, really strong start here. Very confident. Mustafa just taking so much aggro as well. That's very, very nice. Does go down, but did a lot of work before going down. Degno now firing back. They have their own specials. Inkjet coming out to try and just pressurize that central zone.
Yeah, beautiful job right there. Nami on the Kraken again. We've seen this used many times. Eli doing a great job dodging up on those blocks, avoiding that Kraken, and does get the splat. The punishment for overcommitting with that Kraken.
Yeah, they just need to hold on to that zone so they don't get that punish point, but there it is, 56 being added on to their points there as Yifla take control and start their own campaign to get that point to score to 0. So the stuff are probably looking for some other kind of strong play like last time, pushing down to the left side of that central zone. It gets taken out immediately. Crab tank.
Mustafa having going punished twice now when using that Booyah Bomb. Really unfortunate timing. As you go up into the air to charge that Booyah Bomb, you have a couple of frames where you're not really invincible. Once you're in the air, you also have a shield on you, but it can get splatted by the opponents, which is what G-Fly has done. Mustafa now in a better place to charge up that Booyah Bomb, though. Unfortunate.
They lost the lead, as you can see right now.
They lost the lead.
Yeah, Yifla just holding onto that zone so well. Excellent start from Blorbash, but they just can't wrest control back. Okay, they've taken it a little bit. This is where it's important to push everyone back, but Mustafa goes down. Control back in Yifla's favor. They did unfortunately completely lose control as well, so they do have their bonus points. Very critical control gain from Blorbash in just that last moment. Gives them a bit of breathing room, but they are almost fully wiped out, as you can see how far forward Yifla are pushing.
Yeah, that was a crucial push there from Blorbash to take control of the zone, even for just a second, to tack on that penalty. Yifla was only 8 points away from getting the win. Otherwise, that penalty now taking down really fast. Blorbash had to make something happen if they wanted to get control of this zone. We see that Booyah Bomb and that Inkjet combo from Blorbash. Are they going to be able to take control of the zone? The zone is in neutral. Yifla, though, taking control of it again.
The bonus points are down. Last two, it's just too much control, too much pressure coming out from Yifla once again. An excellent start from Blorbash, but Yifla just digging in their heels and finding their way through the entire time. Excellent work there from them.
Yeah, it was really close there. The zone was pretty contested. By those last final moments, Blorbash had a great push at the beginning, but once they lost that push, Yifly had sustained control of the zone.
Yeah, Reyes is with these crab tanks as well, just staying just slightly outside of that central zone and just like, you know, firing volleys, you know, behind the lines, which was causing some real trouble. Mustafa made some big plays, but Nami here with this Kraken just, you know, I think a couple of the bigger pushes that kind of made, well, at least gave Yifla the control was because of those Nami Krakens just pushing straight down the center and just being this presence, this body in the face of Blåbärs, who had to retreat. You know, and I think those kinds of power plays from specials are, you know, quite a prevalent thing that we've seen this entire weekend. You know, it's about that chaotic moment of just the specials going out and then, you know, forcing yourself in the face of the opponent and saying, deal with this.
Yeah, most definitely. I think specials were definitely a big part of the match right here. I think had Mustafa been able to get out a couple of those Booyah bombs, Mustafa was splatted mid Booyah bomb a couple of times. Had those been able to come out, I think the match might have looked a bit differently.
Yeah. I mean, it's one of those things, you're going for your Hail Mary and kind of get, you know, cut short before that. But yeah, we're moving on to our third game, though. It's going to be Rainmaker. Let's have a quick overview of the Rainmaker mode if we haven't yet seen it. If you're new to competitive Splatoon, this is a pretty, I would say, aggressive mode where the whole idea is to move the objective, the Rainmaker, towards 2 checkpoints. You can see one on the left, one on the right there. You need to take control of both checkpoints, but the Rainmaker is also a weapon. It starts off with a shield that must be shot with your color ink until it's big enough to explode, and then you can grab the Rainmaker and slowly take it toward, or quickly take it towards one of the 2 objectives.
Yeah,
but I think
so
the best thing about this,
you have to get to that final podium, but you do have to press through that checkpoint. Usually there's multiple checkpoints that you can choose which one you want to push on your way to that final podium.
It's yeah, I think the aggressive nature of it comes from the fact that it is a weapon as well, and you'll see a lot of Rainmaker users. The Rainmaker user is like shown to the rest of the map. You know where they are, but it is this powerful like artillery thing where you fire a shot and it explodes. So you can use it to your advantage in that regard. You know, not only do you have to get it there, but it's also going to help you get there. So yeah, it's a fascinating mode, and we'll see how we do on Undertow Spillway as well. As I think our players are ready. I think I heard that in my ear, but maybe I'm just making it up. Oh, they're readying up. But yeah, I think what's really nice about this mode is about this particular map as well is that it's quite a square. Rather than being quite long or kind of like quite angular, it feels quite blocky as a piece with like serious height here and there.
Yeah, we've got that middle section that is pretty narrow, but once it goes out onto either team's side, it does widen out a bit more. You've got the options here to push on the right side, which is a shorter distance, but usually it's more contested since it's closer to the opponent's spawn. So usually many teams will choose to push that left side unless they get a massive wipe.
And that's what they can hope for. Wipes in a mode like Rainmaker can be very fast. Obviously, respawns are fast, but you can move the Rainmaker very quickly because you're not beholden to a timer or the tower moving by itself. It's all on you and your speed. So early control. The shield being popped by Blåbärs as Yifla does take a little bit more ground control behind the central spot, so they have a bit more of a foundation to work from.
Yeah, I think that's one of the crucial things to watch out for. Who gets that initial pop of the Rainmaker? It does help get control of mid. Nami here with the Kraken though, trying to go for an aggressive push. Does get punished for it. Degno though, trying to hit Mustafa. Mustafa does have time to get the Booyah bomb out and gets a double splat. That is massive. Able to get the Rainmaker as well and push up to get some of that turf covered for their team.
Mustafa has been making lots of excellent plays the last couple of days. There was so much composure to take down not 2 but 3 splats, and you can see right now Eli with the Rainmaker is being flanked on both sides. They make a little bit of a push but can't quite get to that first checkpoint as Yifla are now fighting back that ball point, just raining down ink to take down the shield. Degno now in control of the Rainmaker, looking to find his way forward as his team are pushing so heavily.
Yeah, beautiful push there from
3 down.
3 down on Blue by Syltetøy. Pretty sure they'll be able to pop this checkpoint right here, and that will be checkpoint 1. Does get punished for it, though, by Eli. Eli doing a great job getting a double splat right there. Beautiful stuff.
Yeah. It's the battle of the ball points. I think there's both kind of raining down so much hell, I guess, for lack of a better word. But yeah, you know, really nice foundation to the team as well. You know, that longer range, being able to cover so well, and just support teammates as they're kind of pushing forward. That pressure being added in. Roy charging up, trying to find his target, but misses and gets taken down for his trouble. Reyes now just trying to cover this left-hand side.
Yeah, they've got a lot of turf to work with here, Yifly, and they're trying to secure a push up to that final podium to knock out their opponent. Nami with that Kraken over there, having a really aggressive push. We see an inkjet being activated by Eli, able to get out of the range of that Kraken. Lots of splats happening on both sides here.
Yeah, 2 and 3 down. That was great positioning from the Kraken, just being in the middle of that one. You know, even if like, Nami took a moment to not spin. Oh wow, couldn't quite get onto the top there. There was enough pressure coming out from the opposing team. They couldn't quite get that one. As once again goes for it once more, but again too much coverage. Yifla are playing really aggressively now as they've lost 2. As Blåbæk, you know, finally wrest control back of their own base.
Yeah, beautiful sustained push here from Yifla with those super jumps, being able to get into the action really quickly. Blå by Syltetøy, though, trying to take control of the podium. Beautiful splat there by Eli to secure the Rainmaker into a safe spot. It's going to be interesting to see here. They choose to grab the Rainmaker, not taking that risk of someone hiding in the ink when they let it reset.
Yeah. It's also one of those things where you can also use it to support your teammates here as they are making this campaign back towards the center.
Yeah, beautiful double splat there. He slid down a couple of inklings. Have to see.
Wow. That was a great shot though. We're using the Trizuka from Raz. Just found the target and straight through. Excellent splat. Now a second one as well. Yeah, Raz gets taken down though by Roy as a counter. But yeah, nice 2 for 1.
Yeah, it's going to be a really tough match here for Blå by Syltetøy. Since Yifla got to that 1 point remaining first, the only way Blå by Syltetøy can win is if they get that full knockout. But they still have that checkpoint to break through before they start their push.
Yeah, indeed. And they've only got 45 seconds left on the clock, so it's going to be forcing their hand. They need to do something. Eli just throwing out a couple of inkjet shots just to see what he can do. The shield goes down on the Rainmaker. Eli picks it up, that back line artillery fire. As Degno gets the inkjet out, just trying to cause a lot of trouble. Takes down 1 member of Blåbæk. All 4 currently up for Yifla. Eli once again. Can he find his way down? Gets taken down. 20 seconds on the clock. Is that going to be enough for Yifla to seal it?
Yeah, beautiful defense here from Yifla. Not letting Blå by Syltetøy even get the first checkpoint. Keeping that sustained pressure. Mustafa gets taken down. That's one of the crucial plays for Blå by Syltetøy.
Degno's positioning was glorious.
Oh.
Yeah, that's gonna be it. That final bit there from Degno, excellent positioning, and just had that space. He knew where his opponents were going. They were pushing towards the Rainmaker. That's all they had to do, and it was just a simple case of just peppering the area with shots, and that was going to be a simple KO. But clean work from Yifla, 3-0 over Blåbæk Syltetøy in the opening match of the day. We have our first winner's final entrant.
Yeah, it was definitely a close match. I think the 3-0 doesn't reflect it as much. That last match being a bit of a blowout, but all the other games being super, super close. We saw some great plays. Mustafa here getting that beautiful splats right there to be able to secure their push twice as well. Blå by Syltetøy having to defend their podium. We see that they managed to have that sustained pressure thanks to the super jumps coming in right by the podium, giving them multiple opportunities at getting the knockout.
Indeed. And with that, we have our first. We have one of our teams have dropped down to the losers bracket. One team has gone on to the winners finals. So let's have a look at that bracket just to see how it looks currently. So you're all We'll do that when we come back from the break. In fact, I think that might be a better idea. So, speaking of breaks, we're going to take one right now as we gear up for our next game. The other winners semis match will be played to see who is going to join Yifla for a spot in the finals, and who will be joining Blåbærs Siltertøy for a knockout match. So we'll be back in just a few minutes. Don't go anywhere. Make sure to stand up, stretch your legs, get some water, whatever you need. We'll see you in 5. welcome back to the Splatoon 3 European Championships 2023. We are doing the Nordic qualifiers. We're on day 2, our final day of our qualifiers. 2 teams have already made their way have already booked their place in the finals for the Nordic region, but 2 more are going to be locked in today, and we have a double elimination bracket to make it happen. My name is Bowie. I'm joined by Charlie Astronaut in the commentary booth, not on the commentary booth. We're not standing on it. We're sitting behind it to talk you through these games and call the action. We just came back from break after having 1 game be played, and let's have a look at that bracket to see how it currently stands after 1 game of the day. So the Yifla, having beaten Blåbärs Siltetoy 3-0, have advanced to the winners finals. We are now going to be dropping down to the next game, P Inc. versus Polant Palabion, who are going to be fighting for that space in the winners finals as well, for a chance to qualify for the finals. The loser of P Inc. and Polant Palabion will drop down to face Blåbärs Siltetoy in the losers side.
Yeah, and I think we have a fantastic matchup in front of us right here. P Inc., wonderful team. They were part of the 2019 finals in Denmark. 3 of their team members are the same as in that roster, so we're gonna see them again. We have P Inc. with Umbra Knight, Ebbs, Luggage, and Mirarin. All of those players except for Mirarin making a showing at the Denmark finals in 2019.
Yeah, they're back once again, and of course they're going to be going up against Polant Palabion. So this is a multinational team again, Swedish and Finnish players. Lutzi, Sual, Low, and Kengun. Saw some excellent plays yesterday by from Sual, making some wonderful flanks and just being a thorn in the opponent's side all day yesterday. So very much looking forward to seeing more of that today from them. But yeah, this I think this is going to be one of our. This is going to be a really, really good one, because P Inc. and Polant Palabion, they're quite close. I think they're 4th and 6th on the 4th and 7th in the overall seedings. So that's, that's pretty close in terms of overall quality. So we're going to see some good matches today, most certainly. As a reminder, of course, we have a different set of rules, maps, and modes for round 2. So let's have a look at those maps and modes. Once again, we're going to be starting off with the turf war, as we always do, that best of 3, and then we hit the anarchy battles. Turf war this time will start on Hammerhead Bridge and into the Undertow Spillway. And should it go to game 3, we will see our first showing of Marco Mart, or Mako Mart, again, however you want to say it. At which point, it's anarchy time!
Yeah, we're going to be seeing tower control on Sturgeon Shipyard. Then we're going to move on to Splat zones on Inkblot Art Academy. We'll potentially also see Rainmaker on Flounder Heights and Clam Blitz on Barnacle and Dime, depending on if this matchup goes all the way.
See, I remember watching this yesterday, or seeing specifically that match. I can't remember who played on the match anymore. I don't know why. Who actually played it? Who was our second match of the day? Off the top of my head, my memory is bad. But Tower Control on Sturgeon Shipyard, that was such an incredible game, because it was just an early play, and then there was just no. That was it. It was one early wipe into this consistent mounding pressure that never got released.
We saw Polant Palabion versus Kladbom yesterday.
That was the one.
On this matchup.
So that was Polant Palabion themselves, I think, who played that one, and that was excellent to see. So maybe they can do it again. They've already shown excellent quality, but it was a one and done in that scenario. It just happened. So it's not going to be the same playing a different team, but it will be fun to see if it goes that way.
Yeah, most definitely. It's going to be super interesting. We're going to start off with Turf War on Hammerhead Bridge. We got to have this long and narrow map. Going to be interesting to see how players decide to approach it, and how they decide to approach getting into the opposing team's spawn, if they're going to be able to do that.
And as you say, that it's very, very narrow. The mid does have a little bit of breadth to it, but I think fighting up that narrowness is going to be really, really key, obviously. Well, I think we were mentioning this yesterday, weren't we? Where, whilst it, whilst it is an uphill battle, it is quite narrow. So like AoE can be quite dangerous. So like, things like, again, you're going to be potentially seeing the crab tank being thrown out. Something, blasters would be very, very nice there as well. This is where you see things like booyah bombs and ink strikes just taking up space and forcing movement from the opponent. And there's not much to really negotiate with, really. So.
Yeah, most definitely. It's going to be one of those choke points that if you're able to take control of it, you'll have a massive advantage in the match. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens here and which weapons these players choose to bring out, which specials also they choose to bring out, with keeping that in mind.
Yeah, because you were mentioning earlier to me in the break, because we were noticing yesterday the sudden there was a lot of undercover umbrella usage yesterday. I believe you mentioned it was Luggage who was making a lot of use of that, and specifically its special Reef Slider, and how that can be used in a map like this. Because we saw it a lot yesterday. Yeah,
most definitely. Luggage was one of those key players on their team with those aggressive pushes using that undercover umbrella and Reef Slider combo. We don't see it here though. But yeah, it definitely brought a lot of space yesterday.
It's a shame we don't see it. It was nice to see, but they've opted for the Tenta Tech, I believe. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ends up 85. Oh, two ends ups. Okay. Sure. The 89 and the 85.
Yeah. So this is a high turfing team we see out of P-Ink right there. All of them being able to put down a lot of turf. Maybe not as much the dually squelchers, but all the other weapons being able to put out a lot of turf.
Kengoon going in there with the Inkjet, just trying to cause a bit of havoc in the early. As ink strikes are being thrown left and right as well, just try and cover that area.
Yeah, P-Ink doing a great job at cornering Kengoon right there and utilizing the sides of this middle area of the map to great advantage. Umber Knight now being able to put down some beacons. Beacons are definitely a crucial, almost necessity on this map, with it being so long and narrow. It's going to take a lot of time after you get splatted to get back to the mid, so those beacons are definitely going to be super useful.
Yeah, on the far side you saw Umber Knight get in a bit of a 2v1, did win that one out on the right hand side. Kengoon now the sole defender of this lower side getting pushed back there, as P-Ink are doing a solid job so far. Looks very even, but definitely I think P-Ink having a bit of the favor here, as Sual and Low are looking to try and find those flanks. Low just being pushed back a little bit, as you can see the Super Chump being thrown out there.
Yeah, Super Chump, one of those rarer specials that we don't see used that often, but maybe is a really good special in Turf War, especially just to get that ink coverage. Lovely wipe out there, beautiful job. Nice control here of mid, being able to push up after that wipeout as well.
Yeah. After the P-Ink having some good strength there, Palance Palabion really fighting back. 1 minute left on the clock though. Luggage obviously just trying to reposition. Super jump from a teammate coming in to support.
Yeah, Luggage here trying to get back control of the middle area that they were holding so well all throughout the match. Now they're having a tough time trying to get out of that mid. Beautiful use of those specials from Palabion, pushing P-Ink out of the middle and back into their spawn.
Yeah, there was a quick trade, but as you can see, we've now got one down on the side of Palance Palabion as they are pushing back from their height. Tacticooler is out, buffs coming in for P-Ink, and they're going to be looking to mount that push back with the final 20 seconds. There is a triple ink strike available on Luggage. We're going to throw those out very, very shortly just to try and get as much coverage as possible, as the Super Chumps are also here. Just any kind of space. There we go. The ink strike's out. Last 10 seconds. Kengoon on the Inkjet, just trying to get as much coverage as possible, as there is just a maelstrom of ink left and right. A complete wipeout as well against P-Ink. Will that give them enough time? I believe so.
Yeah, it looks like a win for Palance Palabion. Beautiful effort there in the last minute to secure that win. We saw P-Ink with the early control of mid and staying in control for a solid 2 minutes before Palabion were able to take control.
But then when they did, I believe there was like at least 2 wipeouts. P-Ink went down twice fully to Palance Palabion there, which is really, really interesting to see. I was talking earlier about how, well, we were talking about how P-Inc were here, obviously, at the 2019 Denmark finals. They came third in the overall bracket, and they're kind of one of the higher seeds there. But, Palabion coming out of the gate swinging, taking that first game, and looking to hopefully, secure this first point and that lead to put the pressure on P-Inc further.
Yeah, most definitely. Sustaining that control of mid with the double wipeout as well. Absolutely beautiful. So we'll have to see how they keep that momentum rolling, hopping into this next match on Undertow Spillway.
Yeah, we just saw this one earlier when I think it was the Rainmaker. Yeah, we had it on Rainmaker just earlier, that kind of wider overall space. There is some moments of linearity and a bit more of I guess, tension, but there is a lot of wider space on both sides. So it's going to be, you can perhaps have this kind of wider range of of wall to kind of push down, which is going to be fascinating to see how we're going to get those angles and how the power plays are going to be pushed. We were talking earlier about the undercover umbrella, right? And how you don't often see it, but Reef Slider specifically as a kind of playmaker, it kind of gives you that sudden burst of speed and burst of attention, which hopefully might be able to break lines on a wider scale like this. Perhaps we'll have to see. I don't see it though. Yeah, no. Perhaps it was just a day one thing.
Yeah, we see a bit of a switch up of weapons on P-Inc's side.
Yeah.
Still a lot of ink coverage capability with these weapons, but opting to switch it up a little bit. So we'll see some different specials. That Booyah Bomb coming out early though. Beautiful splat by Keen-Goon, does get flanked by Umber Knight. However, Umber Knight now looking to pressure up and just avoid these ink strikes coming in right here.
Yeah. Obviously,
well, pushing up, trying to break that wave breaker, unable to do so.
I think the increased, as Splatoon has kind of evolved as a series, movement options have become, a bigger thing. With the introduction of, like dualies and rolling, and obviously, just that kind of stuff. Excuse me, I'm waffling, but
yeah, all the squid rolls, the squid surge from Splatoon 3 as well, giving players more movement options.
It allows players, like the likes of Mustafa in the previous game, to kind of get, and I guess Luxie here as well, to kind of just make aggressive plays and kind of at least go for a trade. And I think it kind of allows aggression a little bit more by offering more options like that. Excuse me, cool. That was what I was trying to say. Crack on. Sorry.
Luggage here trying to get some splats in a pretty awkward spot up on top of these grates up here. Or on this glass up here, I should say. Luggage just lurking around, waiting to see if they can catch their opponents off guard. Polan's Polarbjörn having control of that mid right now. It is pretty contested still. Umber Knight and Mirage, look at that, pushing up behind Polan's Polarbjörn. It's going to be interesting to see how they are able to deal with this pressure from both sides. Keen-Goon in a really bad spot here, but somehow makes it work with the help of their teammates.
Two apiece as we hit the last minute of this second turf war. Looking very strong for Palance Pilarbion again. You can see how much control they have over the mid. You can P-Inc just trying to cover their tracks, get some control back. But specifically, I think I'm seeing is that double, triple ink strikes on the side of Palance Pilarbion, so they can just, whenever they get their special, throw it out there and just take control of zones. It's being the triple ink strike. There's two of them, I believe there are, with the Tense Tech and Slosher, allowing for just 6 shots in one. Double splat there for Keen-Goon against just land there and take one back. 20 seconds left.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting last few seconds of the match here. Luxie trying to put some pressure on the opponent as these final seconds of the match run down. Umber Knight trying to make this final push on low manages to get the splat. However, it's looking like Polarbjörn have control of the mid. We'll have to see if they're able to secure the win and the turf war point. It definitely looks like it from the map, at least.
There's just that line of like triple ink strikes in the back line as well. You know, the amount of time they just managed to just to cover ground at the like behind, even if they're like not using it to actually aggress upon the enemy in the middle of it, they just put space that's theirs in the back line, which forces any respawns to be a bit slower to cover that ground as well. You know, as like a little bonus additional thing. So, excellent work there. Loads of lovely plays.
Yeah, lovely plays. Even when getting cornered somehow with the push of the team together, making it work low here as well with a crucial spot on Umber Knight, just securing that win.
Yeah, and Palance Palabion winning their first, well, getting the first point in the best of 5 with that turf war victory. That is against the general seeding, so it's on P Inc to really grind it out now and kind of regain their composure and start pushing back. They don't want to go down 2-0. The difference between 2-0 and 1-1, as we all know, is very, very large, both mentally and you know.
Yeah,
Factually.
one of the games you have, one of the results you have to reverse sweep, and the other one you're just looking to take the upper hand. So we'll have to see the adaptations that P Inc makes going into tower control on Sturgeon Shipyard. As we mentioned last time, we saw this map mode combo. It was very one-sided. It was one team taking control of that tower immediately and just pushing it all the way towards the end.
Yeah, I mean that's just how it goes with certain modes, isn't it? Like, you know, you can just get a sudden blowout. That's why it's called a knockout. You just get what you need, you push to the end, and that's it. I don't believe we've seen tower control today, so it's time for a cheeky little bit of tower control explanation for any of those of you watching who maybe are new to Splatoon or you know, or can't remember how tower control works. Here's how it works. In the middle, there is a tower. You must control it.
Yeah, ride that tower into your opponent's team's spawn. It follows this rail. You have to push through these checkpoints by standing on it as well. You're trying to push your score down all the way to 0 to get that knockout. If you don't get the knockout, or if either team doesn't get the knockout after 5 minutes, it's whoever has pushed it the furthest who takes the win.
So yeah, those checkpoints are a very, very important part because obviously they stop your movement. You're going to be exposed for a little bit, so it's important to make sure you take that control. Excuse me, where possible.
Yeah, I'm very curious to see the adaptation from P Inc here as well. We saw that undercover umbrella yesterday. Are they going to go back to it now in the anarchy modes after going down 2 games in turf war? Only counts for 1 point though, but 2 losses in a row. How are they going to adapt coming into this next game?
Yeah. We keep bringing up the undercover umbrella. We just want it back. They may just be like, it was just a day 1 thing, we're not going to use it again. But I don't know, it's fun to see.
It's breaking the meta.
Exactly, yeah. Let's just keep breaking the mold. You don't want to just, I mean, that's the thing with metas, right? They are good and they are important to kind of like adhere to, but it's always nice to throw curveballs left and right. You know, shake things up a little bit. It makes it interesting. But yeah, I mean, it's as you were saying, that kind of that need to just go back to tower control. Obviously, you know, knockouts can happen and they can just happen in like the blink of an eye. But I think one thing I like about tower control, at least for this one, is just how kind of exposed it feels to be up there, because you need to ride it specifically. You can't just like take control of it and it moves by itself. You need to be on top of it. You can't be next to it. You need to be on top of it, and it kind of it does create some difficulty. And you know, that's something where, you know, something like, you know, a Splat umbrella can sometimes be helpful, you know, in terms of, well, the undercover umbrella as well, whatever, but any kind of umbrella, because it does create a shield for you as well, so you can kind of use it defensively as well as offensively. Excuse my stutter.
Yeah, we don't see the undercover umbrella coming out here, but we do see the bow, so that'll be an interesting weapon choice, and to see how that can turn the tides for their team. As you mentioned, it's really important to protect that tower, as you're pretty vulnerable up there all alone on that tower. You do have a little pole to dance around if someone throws a spot bomb up there, but in general, you are very vulnerable riding the tower. Lodo, beautiful splat right there.
They
Trying
take control
to
of
get
the tower.
another spot on Umber Knight.
Wow,
Beautiful double splat there by Low.
It's almost similar to the first game where they get basically a wipeout. But I mean, it's really interesting to see that P Inc have opted for double Tentatek as well, so they're going for like the double ink strikes to try and cover as much as they can. But right now, King Goon Inkjet throwing out what they can, gets a splat on Mararin, but does go down to the ink strike as well. 2 for 2, as Palance Palabion still have control. They lose 3 of their players, Lutzi now under so much pressure, gets around the corner, stays alive for a little bit. Really nice survival here by Lutzi, fighting back 3v1. It's not going to be enough, but a nice first push, 58 points, one of the checkpoints down.
Yeah, beautiful push right there, and beautiful job also staying alive. Those final few seconds granted your team enough time to just get back to the middle. Even though they were taken out pretty fast, they did waste a bit of that time for P-Inc to take control. Another strategy that we usually see, that we saw there from Blanche Polar Beyond, one person on the tower, 3 players pushing up. Nobody's really defending that tower or staying close to that tower. They just want to try and push the opponents into their spawn and not let them get anywhere.
Once again, the tower in the center point, back to neutral, I guess. As say that Splat goes down immediately. King Goon now retaking control of the tower once again. Palance Palabion showing real quality on this map with this mode. Splat Bomb's just trying to cover a little bit of ground. There's aggression coming from the right hand side. Lutzi does have to just hold the line a little bit, as you can see Swan on the left hand side. King Goon, I believe, there with the Inkjet once again, just trying to rain havoc down. That's a good job. 2 splats down on the side of P-Ink, so Palance have a chance to push forward once again. Another splat right here. You can see they're going to be trying to force P-Ink to respond at some point.
Yeah, pushing through that second checkpoint. They're past the second checkpoint now. They've only got around 10 points left. Are they going to be able to push any further? No, it looks like P-Inc is able to take control of the tower with only 7 points remaining for Palance Polar Beyond. This was an incredible push on their side. Let's see how P-Inc responds now. They're going to have a big push if they want to win this match.
Yeah, this is excellent stuff from Palance Palabion, though, so far, defying the seedings, defying P-Ink's previous results at these events, and trying to keep the pressure up. King Goon once again, Inkjet pushing away luggage on the side there, and returns to safety as the tower is back in the center. There's a 3v1 right there. It's going to be hard for Umbra Knight to survive that one, but yeah, immediately goes down, but that's taking a little bit of aggro there. Killer Whale comes out as well.
Yeah, a bit of a scramble here in the middle. Looks like Blanche Polar Beyond is looking to secure that control, pushing into P-Ink's spawn and securing that control around the tower.
Look at the height as well that Palance are playing on. You know, utilizing that bridge's height to try and fire to keep that height advantage. But there are a few trades back and forth. Low jumping in. Lutzi there, just trying to find a flank on the side. Luggage taking a KO and now trying to take control of the tower. P-Ink have it.
Yeah, P-Inc now trying to set up one of their first pushes as they go towards that second checkpoint, pushing down their score right now. We'll have to see how they're able to sustain this, because P-Inc, with lots of specials and lots of firing power right now against Palance Beyond's side. Are they going to be able to get out of this? King Goon does get taken down.
It's 35. This is one of those things where a good play here is all P-Inc need to rest the control and then get this victory, despite Palance Palabion doing such a good job. 30 seconds left on the timer, though, so it has to be something soon, as we are running out of time to make that happen. Overtime, of course, is a thing. If they have control of the tower when the time hits 0, then we'll go into overtime until either they win or they lose control of the tower, cancelling the overtime. But here we go. 10 seconds left on the clock. The lead is still in Palance Palabion's favor, but P-Inc still have control of the tower as we're hitting overtime.
P-Inc got to get up on that tower there if they want to keep this into overtime, and they're unable to do so. Blanche Polar Beyond able to hop on the tower and end that overtime. Blanche Polar Beyond with the 2-0 lead in the series.
That is
Beautiful
very, very strong. Yeah, I mean, they showed that quality yesterday on that same mode, that same map. And it's nice to see them come back and do that once again. It wasn't a fluke. It wasn't a one-off. You know, they still have that control. You know, again, remember that, you know, P-Inc are, you know, have had previous success in this tournament, and they find themselves 2-0 down against, you know, a team that they may not have expected to be in this position from. But Palance Palabion just putting on an absolute exemplary show.
Yeah, Palance Polar Beyond sustaining pressure all throughout that game, and just the control of mid. I think that's what pushed them to get that victory.
Yeah, Pete Inc had lovely moments of skirmishing and winning out particular moments, and they did get a good push here and there. But I just think they couldn't. Yeah, they couldn't. There was a lot of pushing around mid, but it was always Palance Pelabion who were the ones who were like really kind of like overbearing and kind of breaking into the enemy zone. Good flanks here and there, getting those key splats, and then taking choke points really cleanly.
Yeah, I think those triple ink strikes as well, playing a big role in just securing that control of mid, zoning opponents towards their spawn, and just getting a lot of turf.
Yes, indeed. Speaking of turf as well, nice segue there. We got Splat Zones coming up next. We know how it works. We've seen it today, but we're going to be going on to Ink Blot Art Academy, one of my favorite stages. So Splat Zones has one massive space in the center that needs to be taken, and so it's going to be very hotly contested. Nice flat wide areas though, with a few pillars here and there, and like places to duck behind for protection. But yeah, having control of that, not actually mid, but being able to kind of fight up that one layer, that's like really where a lot of games are won. Not in the middle, but in those kind of first like zones to take and break. But yeah,
I think it's definitely a fantastic map. You got to ensure that you keep your side well inked. I think this map also has usually a lot of players trying to flank up on that back line.
Yeah, there is that alley as well, isn't there, from the side?
All right, hopping into the match here. Ooh, we see that Jet Squelcher come out on P Ink's side. Definitely the weapon adjustment that they might be looking for hopping into this match. That double 10 to tech as well, and the light Tetra Dualies.
Yeah. So we've got Ink Storm as well as the Ink Strikes. A bit of a slower moving but more commanding presence of a special. Yeah, they're looking for like specific space pressure rather than kind of like big damaging specials that are going to kind of take KOs and force plays, if you know what I mean. Mirarin on the height though, just using that height to their advantage, firing into that upper flat that I was talking about, just near the statue there, where that's really key to get up and take control of because of that. Again, it's that open space. So
yeah, beautiful job here from Mirarin, using that range to their advantage as they try to secure this zone. Currently contested though. It's looking like P-Ink might be able to re-grab control of it, however,
they do have it,
while doing their best to get splatted for their efforts. Lucy as well going down. Beautiful job from P-Ink right here, just grabbing control of the zone and not letting up.
Indeed, it's super good stuff so far. They haven't lost their control just yet. Kingoon trying to do something with only 10 points left already. Looks like P-Ink had a nice shot here, but they do lose control potentially. It's being fought for. Kingoon just trying to fight back, gets a splat onto luggage. That should be their opportunity maybe to get a finish, but no, the Ink Strikes doing their job, taking back control immediately, and P-Ink instantly fight back with a wonderful KO. That's what the Ink Strikes and Storms are for. It's all that control. It keeps them from losing their area. If they have to fall back, they can still challenge and take back that splat zone. Excellent work.
Yeah, that was a clinical game right there from P-Ink, not letting any pressure up and being able to just sustain that zone. Even when it was contested, they were able to get it back.
And you can just see like individual plays here specifically. Just getting these double splats is just so huge. When you're in a skirmish, when you're on the back foot, you want to fight for at least a trade, the 1v1. But or at the very worst, a two for one. But a 2 for 0 is such a big deal because again, you only are a team of 4. So to half the outgoing control and pressure is for no kind of gain is scary to be on the receiving end of.
Yeah, most definitely. We're gonna be hopping into our next match, Rainmaker Flounder Heights. We've seen this map combo yesterday, and Flounder Heights is one of those maps with a lot of height, as implied in the name. So we'll have to see who grabs control of that top area and are able to rain down pressure.
Indeed, yeah. So as you say, Rainmaker too, which again we have that aggression that the checkpoints need to be met before we hit that before we hit home. So yeah, I believe most of the time it's like a left and right kind of way. We have to kind of push our way through. There are some nice kind of drop downs because like the center kind of the center place is kind of almost like an island that has two lower rungs running to either side of it. So you have these multitude of angles in which you can attack the center and then kind of like push down on from the lower end to get behind enemy lines. So yeah, fascinating stage.
Yeah, a little correction there. This is going to be our first time seeing this map and mode combo since we did get 3 O's in the earlier rounds yesterday. So we'll have to see how it plays out. Flounder Heights is a fantastic map. We see that same weapon composition from P Inc. again. It brought them success in Splat zones. We'll have to see if it brings them success again here in Rainmaker. Let's have a look at who gets that initial pop. It seems like P Inc. is going to grab control of the mid and get that Rainmaker pop right there.
Aye. So this is waiting to be claimed by one team. It's 2 for 1 in the favour of Palabion. Another couple of self-splats there means it gives them the chance to make a push now. They're going to go to the right-hand side first, get that first checkpoint immediately. Excellent stuff from Palabion. They take another splat down again. So much pressure here. They're going to be going for their next checkpoint. Going to try and push far forward as possible up the hill, straight in, and that's the game. Wow!
Wow, beautiful game right there. Oh my goodness, that was over in a blink of an eye. Beautiful push. Wow.
Okay. Yeah, Palabion absolutely shut down P Inc. They had a moment where they fought back on that wonderful Splat Zones game. There's a little bit of hope left, but wow, any hope was shut in a box, put in a cupboard, and then...
Yeah, they had those beautiful splats coming right out of the opening sequence of the game. Low being able to break through that first checkpoint. And a little interesting thing that Low does here is paint that wall so that if they needed that escape route, they had it open for them. Beautiful plays coming out right here.
It can be over so quickly like that, and I think that's what I find really exciting with a game like Splatoon is it does have a charitable timer. 5 minutes is a long time to be skirmishing like this, but I think that was like, what was that, sub 1 minute? It felt like.
Yeah, it was incredibly fast, and we see the upset win against P Inc.
Indeed, yeah. P Inc., who made it to third place at the Denmark finals 4 years ago, drop out without reaching the finals this year. It won't always be their day. You know, you win some, you lose some, as they say, but that is an excellent result for Palabion on the lower end of that seeding, making a huge upset and making their way to winners finals to face off against Yifla. It's not over, though, for P Inc. I did say they drop out, but they aren't there just yet. They have a couple more matches because they have dropped down to the lower side. I did forget about the double elimination side of it for a moment. Excuse me. But
they got one more life.
They got one more life. They have to go up against Blåbærs Siltetøy in the loser side to see if they can stay alive. So we will be dropping down to that lower side bracket match next. So we're going to be watching Blåbærs versus P Inc. next. And they are 4th and 5th seed. So this is a real tie, I guess. Not tiebreaker, but it's going to be a very, very tense one. I'm looking forward to it. So yeah, we'll take another very, very short break. Make sure to stretch your legs, stand up, get away from the monitor for a moment. Look outside the window. It's a lovely day. And then come back for more Splatoon 3 action at the Nordic qualifiers for the European Championships.
Yeah.
Hello, hi, welcome back to the Splatoon 3 European Championships. We're here for the Nordic qualifiers day 2. 2 of our teams from the 10 that have entered the tournament have qualified for the finals in Stockholm at the beginning of September, with 2 places up for grabs. On day 2 here, we have a double elimination bracket of the teams that came 2nd and 3rd in their respective pools, and they're fighting for those final 2 spots. We've just come back from a break, which means we have just finished a game. So let's go back to the bracket to see how it looks so far. We saw Yifla and Polance Palabion win their opening games and are currently waiting in winners finals. But before we get there, we got to drop down to the loser side bracket.
Yeah, we are going to have P Inc. coming out of that loss from Polance Palabion. Polance Palabion playing absolutely insane and dominating P Inc. that were seated higher up than Polance Palabion. They're going to be facing off against Blåbergs Syltetøy, coming off that 3-0 loss versus Yifla in the winners bracket. Whoever wins here has a chance to qualify. The other team will be out. How do we think these teams are going to adapt going into this crucial round?
That is the question, isn't it? When you lose your first game, you're still in it, but now it is all to play for. You can still make it to the grand finals, from loser's side. You just need to not lose again. So yeah, I think P Inc. obviously had a bit of a tricky match against Polance Palabion just now. They're probably going to be a little bit. They might be a bit winded from it, and they need to kind of just right the ship, recalibrate the mentality. It's okay, it's fine to lose one. Maybe we didn't play our best, but what did we do differently, or what did we do wrong? Can we choose better weapons? Do we just get better stages? Hopefully, all that kind of stuff. So things to take into account.
Let's have a look at the stages that these teams are going to be playing on.
Yes, of course. We have got to a brand new round, so brand new stages indeed. Once again, opening with that turf war, we've got Scorch Gorge and Inkblot Art Academy again to open, and if we go to the full distance there, it'll be the Umami Ruins.
Yeah, it's going to be followed by the Anarchy battles, Clam Blitz on Manta Maria, Tower Control, Eeltail Alley, potentially Splat Zones on Brinewater Springs, and Rainmaker on Hagglefish Market.
This will be once again our first showing of Clam Blitz because we haven't gone the distance enough to showcase it before. But yeah, very nice set. Again, yesterday we were watching Clam Blitz on Manta Maria. There was some excellent plays on that particular round that we saw yesterday. I'm trying to remember the teams again. I'm very bad at remembering who played who.
and Blåbergs Syltetøy was the teams that we did watch.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a solid match, I thought. I mean, obviously Hank Kanto, handled the situation very well, but Blåbergs having very nice moments here and there, utilizing the stages set up quite well to try and fight back, but it was unfortunately not enough against a powerhouse like Hank Kanto. But yeah, so turf war once again on Scorch Gorge. Let's have a little look at that one. This is that interesting map that kind of is set at that nice jaunty angle. There's always kind of multiple, rather than being quite flat and having only one general point of view, you've always got kind of this rounded view of every segment going up and down. So
it's one of those maps that are a bit special in that sense. We'll have to see how these teams adapt going into it. We saw P Inc. switching around the weapons between each of the rounds in their previous matchup, trying to find what they were most comfortable with. So we'll have to see if they switch it up yet again, or how that's going to look coming into this matchup.
Oh man, I really enjoy losers bracket matches because they are where kind of like people really start. The teams can sometimes go a bit feral. It's like it's all to play for.
You bring out everything that you have in your arsenal to take that win.
Yeah, exactly. And you can't, if you got anything in the pocket, you can't like hold back. You've got to throw everything and the kitchen sink into this match. We'll just get a check up on how the teams are doing, if they're ready to jump in, because I'll get again brand new team set. But looking at Blåbergs Syltetøy, they have been doing
pretty decent, but they haven't been getting warmed up fully in that first match. So interesting to see
Mm.
how they will be coming into this matchup here. We saw Mustafa with some of those key plays on the Gluga dualies, but it's just not, it has not been enough for their team to take any of the wins.
Yeah, I mean, it was one of those things where Yifla was playing very, very well, and then to shut down Blåbærs Siltertøy quite well. So that, yeah, again, you were saying that it had maybe a little bit less practice. At least today, a little bit more warmed up. With you could argue are, because they had a bit more back and forth, and they did have specific rounds of success as well, to kind of like sit there and be like, yeah, this is where we were strong, and we can lean into that. Whereas Blåbærs Siltertøy had a bit more of a tough outing with their opponent. In terms of just being shut down quite quickly.
But they have had a bit of time now to prepare going into this next matchup. So we'll have to see the adjustments there. We saw Eli on that ball point with the inkjet, doing a good job. Mustafa as well with those Gluga dualies, doing a great job at getting some of those splats to just secure a push forwards. But we're going to need more from both of these teams if they want to take the win in this series. It's going to be a close one.
Yeah, I think specifically you were saying as well a little bit more time to prepare as well, which might come into it insofar as like watching P-Ink play and seeing what they were doing specifically, and like, those kind of like a little bit of foddery. I mean, everyone can watch everyone play at some point, but it's a bit more recent, a bit more specific, and a bit more particular prep that goes into that one, where P-Ink have just gone from one game into another, but that's how it goes. We're still waiting for one player to ready up or get connected. I know that obviously we are doing this online remote. I'm currently not in Sweden, although I would love to be. It's not as bad. Okay, yesterday it wasn't a great day. I was saying it wasn't like it wasn't the sunniest, but it's been a lovely day today.
Yeah, I was sunny yesterday here in Stockholm, sunny again. So.
Oh, lucky you! Yeah, imagine. Imagine being in like a lovely country. Well, I'll say lovely weather country. Our weather is very up and down. So, I don't know. One of those things. We're aware that we're just having one of the players is taking a little bit of a moment. So we'll not take a full break. But we'll just kind of quickly go to our hold screen whilst we get everything sorted technically. And as soon as they're all ready to go, we will be right back. And we'll jump straight back into this next round. It's how it goes. It's live. Tech issues happen. But we'll be just a couple of minutes. Hi there, welcome back to the Splatoon 3 European Championships 2023. It's day 2 of the Nordic qualifiers. Apologies for the slight delay and break there. Obviously, we're having a few connectivity issues with one of our players. We're actually going to kind of allow them to try and sort those out, and we're going to just jump into another game. Rather than doing the losers bracket match right now between P Inc. and Blåbærs Siltetøy, we're going to go up to the winners side and do that winners finals between Yiflar and Polans Palabion, which means that the winner of this game that we're going to show is going to qualify and get that 3rd spot in the Nordic finals in Stockholm in September. So we're going to suddenly just up the ante a little bit and make this very, very exciting. We're going to stick with the round 3 maps, and we're going to be, of course, starting with Turf War, Scorch Gorge, as we jump into this next game. So yes, if you've just joined us, I'm Bowie. I'm joined by Charlie Astronaut here in the commentary booth, and we're going to be talking you through the action. If you've been with us the entire day, welcome back. How are you? Hope you're having a lovely time and you have a nice warm drink or cold drink, whatever is to your liking, and you're enjoying the day. We've got a lot more action to come, so a lot to be excited about. I'm not sure if the players are ready immediately, but they're going to start readying up. So just to remind you, let's go over the round 3 maps again, just to quickly make sure you all know what's going down. So as we said, Turf War, Scorch Gorge, Inkblot Art Academy are a guarantee. If we see game 3, we'll go to Umami Ruins, and at which point that will be 1 point in the best of 5, and then we will head over to the Anarchy battles.
Yeah, we'll head over to the Anarchy battles. We'll play Clam Blitz on Manta Maria. It will be the first time Clam Blitz is shown today. Then it will be followed by Tower Control on Eeltail Alley, and potentially we'll see Splat Zones, Brinewater Springs, and Rainmaker Hagglefish Market.
Oh yes!
We've got some fantastic map mode combos in front of us right here.
Yeah, I agree. It is a solid one. We're mentioning this is going to be the first time we see Clam Blitz, so for the day. Yeah, it could have appeared earlier, but the teams didn't want to play ball. But yeah, so it's quite an interesting lot, if you're kind of, for this particular matchup, this is the one that's going to send someone to the finals. If it does go to game 5, it's going to be Rainmaker as well, which is, as we've discussed, probably considered the most aggressive of all the modes. So it's going to be quite a bit of a slobber knocker if we go that far.
It's going to be some really fun matches here. Let's have a look at the teams that are playing as well.
Yeah, we'll see the rosters of those ones. So I believe Yiflar is up first. There we go. Multinational.
Yeah, Yiflar, the multinational team, starting off with their captain Degno, Nami, Raze, Ross, and their sub Aim.
Yes, indeed. We saw Degno and Nami making excellent use of their specials to make plays and really pressure the opposing teams, whilst Reyes and Raz are just doing so much work in skirmishing. Excellent reaction time to try and find good splats and see their team to victory. So Yiflar looking strong. They're going up against Polans Palabion, which is the other multinational team. The Swedish-Finnish combo of Lutzi, Sual, Low, and Kengun, who just put on a masterclass of shutting down an opponent in Rainmaker previously, where I think we were on... Where were we on again? It was Flounder Heights, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely beautiful showing from them, shutting out P Inc. and taking that win against an upper seed. They've definitely been showing their prowess both today and yesterday as well, having some incredible games and taking a lot of games from these top teams that we'd expect them to be struggling against. They've been playing absolutely amazing.
Yeah, I always like that. We love a good underdog story, don't we? It's always a case of, this team have the potential to do something great, and seeing them do that is always very exciting. So yeah, they've got obviously a lot of work to do still. They've got, to win 3 games against the 2nd seed in the competition, who only lost, to Canas yesterday as well. They came 2nd in their group barely. It was a 3-2, I believe it was as well. So it wasn't it wasn't an easy loss. It was a really tight one. So either Canas or Yiflar could have been here today, and it ended up being Yiflar. So there's a big ask, a big question mark looming over whether or not Palance Palabion can continue their streak of upsetting top teams.
Yeah,
So,
I think one of the key tools that Blanche Palabion used in that previous matchup was just those triple ink strikes, being able to get lots of turf due to it, and being able to zone out their opponents, not letting them get into their zone. Also picking up some of those aggressive splats really helped them turn the tides in battle.
Yeah, agreed. I mean, we were talking earlier about how this meta is kind of defined around, chaotic moments of play, these power plays coming out and specials being very popular. We've seen things like the Crab Tank and the Tacticooler being very, very popular. But again, these Inkjets is just complete zone control is very important. But here we are. This is our round 3 game. The winner of this series will advance to the Nordic finals next month. We've got a best of 3 first off with Turf War as Yifla and Palance Palabion take to the stage.
Yeah, we see both of the teams here having a different approach to get to the middle. Palance Palabion choosing to have 3 players going up front and 1 player staying back and inking. Yifla though. Seems like we have a bit of a connection error there. We'll get that match restarted for y'all.
We've ended the game. Okay.
But just analyzing some of those key start moments there, we saw Palance Palabion having 3 members push up to the middle, 1 staying back and inking the spawn, compared to Yifla having all members pushing up together, a bit like a wave.
Yeah,
just inking that spawn, getting their specials charged up.
Yeah, we were seeing this kind of variance the other day as well, and I think it was, I believe it was Yifla as well who was doing that, where sometimes they just don't want to. They'd rather prepare all of their specials for an early power play, get control, and then build up their specials after they've already started wiping out the opponents, or they have control of that central zone. But there's merit in both. It's just one of those things. You either want to have everyone together, or you have the majority of your force up front and fighting, whilst you have one person just doing admin in the back. But that admin matters. We've seen previous matches where an area gets left behind at the beginning, and then you end up thinking, well, at some point we have to cover that because that's a free 5-6%. Yeah, the game is starting, so we're going to jump straight into it.
We saw Hanky Kanto use the strategy that Yifla has been using, getting all of their players up together a bit like a wave, charging up those specials. But we've also seen success on Palance Palabion now with the strategy that they've been doing. I'll see if they opt for the same strategy coming into this match now. Yeah, we see that same strategy being implemented. 3 squids being super fast, swimming into that middle on Palance Palabion right there, ready to take that fight and take control of mid early.
Yeah, Kingoon just looking to try and using that ball point once again, just to cover as much ground, trying to push back. But Reyes with the Crab Tank on the left hand side, getting a few nice shots. No splats though, but trying to find their way in. It looks like Kingoon did go down on the side of Palance Palabion. Didn't see who took them down though. But yeah, splash wall, nice defense as they were firing behind. Kraken's out from Nami. We've seen this song and dance before. There's one splat, very, very nice. Low goes down.
Yeah, beautiful push there from Nami with that Kraken. Really aggressive push, but it's been working out for them. They somehow stay alive and get out alive using that Kraken to their advantage. Swall now, though, trying to take some more of the mid turf. They've got that special charged up. Obviously, when they opt to use that triple ink strike.
Yeah, Swall just doing very precise work, trying to cover as much ground as possible. Degno is up in the air. Inkjet a go-go. As Inkjet's coming down as well. Speaking of Inkjet a go-go, Kingoon's also back with a vengeance.
Yeah, that Inkjet being used really aggressively to try and pick up some of those splats right there. It's going to be tough now for Palance Palabion to try and get into this middle area. Yifla doing a great job of just controlling this center platform and taking that high ground, just raining down pressure on the opponents.
Yeah, Raz doing a bit of paperwork as well, covering those corners, any free space that's not being used, and yeah, charging up the special with that as well. Obviously, coverage does include points. Looks like we have an ink storm starting. No, that was just me seeing some mist. But right now, Palance Palabion with a minute left to go do have a nice chunk of control. Nami goes down low, brought Nami low, yeah, looking quite strong as Yifla Howery on the back foot. Kingoon once again flanking with the Inkjet, trying to get as much space controlled as possible. returns to the grate.
Yeah, beautiful pressure here from Björn, taking these last 40 seconds, just taking control of the middle area. As we know, Turf War, those last seconds of the match really play into that of high importance. Raze here with the grab, unable to use it effectively. That's quite unfortunate there. The specials shutting down that attempt from Yifla. Nami though with the Kraken, trying to make something happen in these final 20 seconds.
Yeah, this is really, really tight. There's 3 down on the side of Yifla, though. Björn have a strong advantage. They have to try and push up as far as they can, get the early point here in Turf War as the final seconds count down. But have Björn managed to cover enough of that ground? Looks pretty promising given there's the timing of that final splat. It's looking good for Björn once more as they take another point.
Yeah, decisive win in that first match of Turf War, that last 1 minute, keeping really good control. Nami had some great effort there with the Kraken and then trying to flank behind the team, but it just wasn't enough on the side of Yifla. Nami with that Kraken though had an amazing play earlier on in the match.
Yeah, that was a nicely done one there. Again, paperwork. Never forget to do it. It's really helpful. Like genuinely, in life and in Splat, do your paperwork. But yeah, I think Björn are doing a really good job of always just getting these critical wipeouts, or at least they win big team fights, where even if it's not a wipeout, there's at least 4-2 or 4-1 kind of number, which allows them to push up so well. And when they are throwing out all of their specials at the end, these ink strikes coming out just to cover some ground whilst they can. They're just doing a really good job of capitalizing when it matters most. And I think that's why they're eking out all of these victories against teams that maybe feel like, oh yeah, we have the majority of the control, but it slips for just the key moment. I'm wondering if that's a specific thought out thing where I go, okay, well, we have our specials ready about a minute to go. Wait. Give it 30 seconds. Play passive, as passive as possible. Don't overstretch, your position. Let them come to us. Power play and push, which is
most definitely.
Strong
I think
work
it's really
from,
crucial just to save those specials for those last 30 seconds. Get that really key push to win the game. That's what's important with Turf War. It doesn't matter how much you've inked all throughout the match. What matters is how the map looks at the end of the game. So those last 30 seconds are always really crucial.
Agreed. We're going to go into Inkblot Art Academy as our second match and map for this Turf War. Again, it's a best of 3 for the Turf War. The first point of the best of 5 is decided in a best of 3 Turf War. I think that's there's been a lot of kind of positive reception, I think, from people from this kind of set of format, being like Turf War is a very volatile mode for it to count, for one match of it to count for an entire best of 5. So it's nice to have this kind of isolated best of 3 within itself to even out that volatility a little bit. You could still have 2 matches that are just really wild, but at least it's 2 rather than 1.
Yeah,
you have to roll the dice twice.
It gives teams that extra little moment to be able to adapt. We'll have to see if we see any adaptations here from Yifla going into Inkblot Art Academy.
Excuse me.
All right, we see the same strategy being used there as these teams make their way towards the middle.
Jet Crab, Kraken, Ink Strike, Double Ink Strike, Ink Jet, and is that Wave Breaker I'm seeing?
Yeah, that Wave Breaker coming out there from low, trying to get a little bit of pressure down in mid. Lucy as well, fighting off against that Kraken. Nami already with the Kraken push. Team doing in a really awkward spot, but they managed to make it work.
That was really, really solid.
Straight into the middle. Team doing their really smart push. When the Kraken is attacking you, if you shoot the Kraken, it will force them backwards. They won't be able to get that push against you. Really smart play there with the special there, the goal point.
Yeah, that's good work. Nami now trying to build up again, but gets taken down by lots of coverage there, low, and looks to the side. Trying to find their way back into the center now to try and wrest control once more from Yifla. It's looking a lot stronger for Yifla. Both of those flanks down by the tree, completely covered by Yifla. And again, 2 splats down against Björn. They're really coming to life here. I think maybe it was one of those things where Yifla perhaps there was a little bit of underestimating Palabion's ability and just playing a little bit too passive, and now they've woken up a little bit. They've seen that that there is a lot more on the line. They're fighting for a place in the finals right now, so they can't be too passive.
Yeah,
Luzi,
beautiful
though.
spot bomb there from Luzi, taking out that player perfectly timed. But Palabien trying to get out of their base right now, using those specials to open up a bit of space and hopefully push Yifly back. But Yifly sustaining that pressure despite being pushed with some of those specials, breaking that wave breaker early as well.
Yeah, the way wave breaker forcing these jumps and general slow movement, you can't stay in the ink, so to get rid of it, very nice. As Ray is on this top side with the crab tank, just forcing so much control, getting a couple of splats as well. This is looking really good for Yifla currently, as they are just taking complete control of this central section. There's a little bit of contestation for the sides. Oh, it's not a trade. That's in Reyes' favor. That's not good. Low, unfortunately, failing that one there. Looks like just trying to use the squash, trying to get something going, but goes down again.
Yeah, these last 30 seconds are crucial. Yifly with really strong control of the map. We'll have to see if Palabien are able to get into it. Seems like they're getting some more turf down at the moment. Luzi inking up this right side of the map. Fighting against Nami now.
Yeah, a couple of splats down again for Palabien. They're just losing numbers, and they're not able to take anything away from Yifla. Much stronger from Yifla here in the second game, looking to just to completely shut them out. So much control, and yeah, you can see there was two players in the corner who couldn't get out. Wonderful work from Yifla to respond after a very strong ending of the first game.
Yeah, Yifly taking control early of the map and not letting up any of that pressure, not letting them get into mid or take any ground.
Yeah, it was a really nice fight back and just response. You're not going to have this so easily. You got a nice clean win. This first play from Nami was really like nicely done. Like obviously pushing Nami back, but the Kraken being left on that uninkable surface as well, leaving them a little bit in no man's land. It was well handled, but again, that was just the opening part. Nami there, like locking both players into that corner, wonderfully done by them as well. That flank was happening, and Nami just forced them away from any kind of positive, strong positioning to lock them out completely. Even though they weren't down and splatted, they had no presence on the map at all. So
yeah, beautiful stuff right here. We've seen the different approaches a bit at Turf War as well. How they focus Yifly trying to sustain long-term pressure and just long-term control of mid. Palabien just trying to get that last push at the 1 minute mark, at the 30-second mark, just trying to get in, but unable to do so in this matchup. Next match, we're going to have Umami Ruins as the next map in this decider of Turf War.
Oh yes, indeed. A very circular central section of this map. Of course, with those two bases on the sides, a little bit of a ramp. But yeah, that circular segment is going to be really fascinating to see. A few edges here as well to be careful of as well. A couple of pits as well just behind to maybe try and force your way down towards, to try and make your campaign up the ramps as well. So we'll have to see. Players readying up. This might go the distance. It's already gone the distance for the best of three. We'll have to see how it goes when we reach the Anarchy battles. This is something that, I mean, of course, everyone wants to win, but Palabien as the team who are generally considered the lower seed, the underdogs here, if they can get this victory, will allow them to go into the Anarchy battle with a lot more confidence and put the onus of victory onto the opponent. Like, they need to force victories now, make things happen to try and fight back. When you have that lead, you can sit into that and really enjoy that without getting complacent. But you can sit into it and enjoy it.
Yeah, most definitely. I think it's up to them to try and secure that final point. This point is going to be crucial going into those Anarchy battles, as you mentioned. So this is going to be a really important match to tell who has the advantage going into Anarchy.
Aye.
See both teams spawning in here, opting to go for that same approach that they've gone with for these last matches as well. The 3-1 approach for Palabien and Yifly, trying to charge those specials, going in a bit slower towards the middle. Still not super slow, but it's a little bit slower. You see that early crab tank usage right there. Beautiful Splat on the opponent. Nice little bit of pressure coming out from Giflight in these early moments of the match.
Yeah, it should be noted as well that Palance Palabion did leave a little bit of their spawn completely untouched, the topmost segment, which they probably will want to cover at some point unless they have a sheer advantage. But so far, Palance Palabion are losing members, 2 down once again as Yifla have control once more, and you have Nami, I believe that's Nami, in the back, using the Kraken just to get all the way up the front and then work their way back down, forcing players to follow them, to take them, the aggro. But yeah, Swell takes them down.
Yeah, Nami there, even though they got taken down, they're distracting the opponent, just taking some of those plays. Beautiful shot there from Raze, taking out Keen Goon with that grab tank lob shot. Beautiful stuff.
Taking there as well, once again on the Inkjet, doing their best.
Splat on low.
Wow, yeah, that's the thing is right now is when it comes to the individual skirmishes, they're just unable to get splats on the opponent right now. So much pressure coming out, and Kingun goes down again. 3 splats on the side of Palabion. Essentially a wipeout. One did respawn almost immediately, but there is a wipeout. Okay, Palabion have covered their top side now. They've got that done. But so much of their own turf is being taken in. Their spawn is just getting covered. Not good right now. Yifla in such a strong commanding lead as they hit the last minute of this 3rd turf war.
Yeah, Yifla with just that dominant position. Swallow trying to make their way back into middle. It's gonna be tough. They're gonna have to secure some of those positioning. The triple ink strike coming out, the wave breaker as well. Is that gonna be enough to turn the tide of this battle as they try to fight for control of mid?
They do have a couple of splats down again, although now Yifla are fully respawned. They're going to be making their way in. Reyes trying to find a side on the left-hand side. Maybe they can get a splat back as Yifla have lost another team member. Okay, yeah, there we go. 1 for 1. You loses a member right now. Reyes on that high spot in the center. You can see just how much coverage there is in Palance Palabion's base as Nami is crackening once again. Has got on the back line. Palance Palabion had been completely basically wiped out, and Nami has free reign of the base to cover. This is looking so good for Yifla, even if Palance Palabion can get the KOs now. There's just too much coverage for them to have to try and take back over. Yifla looking very strong to seal out this turf war.
Another dominant game there from Yifla, grabbing control early on in the match and not letting go of that control, just sustaining pushes, getting multiple splats and wipeouts. Just keep control.
Yeah, that was dominating. After a first good game from Palance Palabion, Yifla really woke up. I think they just had the rug pulled from under them and go, okay, no, we can't muck around here. We need to play the video game. So yeah, see, Kingun there was just trying to get some good range, but was spotted out. And then the 2 for 1 kind of took them down there. But yeah, Nami using this Kraken not necessarily to get splats there, but just to get behind enemy lines and just go up, either force enemies back or just kind of, as you saw at the end, just go behind enemy lines. They're all busy in mid. I've got all this space to myself.
Yeah, got all the space to ink and just take all of that turf. We saw lots of ink from Yifla in the spawn of the opposing team. I think that was really important for them, getting those just sustained pushes, getting in with the Kraken and all of that, just to keep the pressure up.
It was nicely done, and as I said, it gives them the lead going into the Anarchy battles as well. They managed to, after Palance Palabion feel pretty good about that first game, just shut them down completely and be like, no, you have to beat us. You can't just get a good play towards the end. You need to make sure that you are profoundly beating us throughout. So next up, we're going into our Anarchy battle. Is going to be Clam Blitz. So whilst the players are readying up, let's take you through, if you are joining us for the first time or still unsure about how certain aspects of competitive Splatoon work, let's talk a little bit about Clam Blitz.
Clam Blitz is an interesting mode. You have to collect these clams across the map. Once you get 8 clams, you'll be able to build this power clam that you can use to break the barrier of the opponent. So you see right here, once you've got that power clam, you're also visible to your opponent. You got to break the barrier of the opposing team, and then you can throw in those smaller clams to gain more points. You got to try and get all of that points to 0.
Indeed, yeah, it's 20 points for a power clam, 3 points for a regular clam, and there is a little bit of nuance to it as well. When you do break the barrier, there is a timer that slowly ticks down, but every time you throw a clam in, it ticks the timer up just a little bit. I think is it like 1 second per clam extra? I'm not sure how much extra it is.
It's just a little bit after you toss in every clam, so it's definitely important to sometimes just stagger those clams. Toss one in, wait a little bit, toss another one in, just to give it enough time for your teammates to come in with more clams in the back.
Yeah. So yeah, we did actually see a very nice plays, I believe, from I think was it Cafe from Hank Kanto who was doing it, who was kind of like dealing with a 3v1 and kind of like firing shots off, throwing a clam, firing shots off, and just every now and then just throwing one, and that was in the heat of it as well, and it was really nice to see that happen.
Yeah, it was beautiful plays as well. We saw Ark also do a really good job on Hanky Kanto in this mode. Really interesting to see how our teams adapt to Clam Blitz. Clam Blitz definitely does require a lot of coordination within your team to be able to push up and break that barrier.
Yeah, because you can offload clams and power clams to any one of your teammates. It's not just if you have it, you have to do it. It's like, well, I've got 3 clams, you've got 7. Have one of those, and then drop the power clam, and someone else will pick it up. We move forward, attack. So there's a lot of, as you say, coordination. It's a really strategic match mode. So looking forward to see what Palance Palabion can bring to it to really put the screws to Yifla, who so far have counteracted very nicely.
Yeah, I think another thing that you also see is players just juggling those clams. When you have that power clam, you are visible. But if you're carrying, say, 7 clams, you can toss one in front of you, then you can grab it later on. So you can, like, if you have 8 clams, you picked up 7, you toss one in front of you, pick one up, toss one in front of you, pick one up, to move around without picking up that power clam until you're into the opponent's base and ready to break the barrier.
Yeah, indeed. A little bit of leapfrog. There's loads of like little nuanced interactions you can have with this game, which I think makes it very unique as a game mode. So looks like the game is starting. Remember, the winner of this match goes through to the Nordic finals in Stockholm at the beginning of September. Yifla 1, Palance Palabion 0.
Yeah, Palance Palabion. No points on the board right now, but definitely some really close turf war matches. We'll have to see how they bring it in this match. Starting off with that Clash Blaster, very interesting weapon choice. We saw it earlier in the matchups. Not one that you commonly see in the meta, but it can definitely be used to put a lot of pressure on that opposing squad. Low here dancing around the pole and just hiding a bit on the wall, recovering that ink as they decide which moment to press up into the opposing side. Raz has spotted them, though. Will be trying to go for that splat. Low gets splatted for their efforts.
There are 17 clams roughly on the side of Yifla there. They have 2 power clams in hand. One does get taken down though, as they were just trying to find their way to try and get the shield broken. Reyes has fallen all the way back to spawn, whilst a lot of pressure was coming out, but
yeah, they were able to protect one of those power clams with great defense there from Palance Palabion, making sure to not let them get that push. Now it's time for them to try and mount a push of their own against this opposing squad right here.
Yeah, Degno just dealing with so much! Wow! Gosh. So much pressure coming out on Degno, but that ball point is doing so much work down the corner there, and it was a 2-for-1. I believe one of the members of Yifla did go down too, but yeah.
Yeah, very close match there. We see the super jump from Degno coming out near that basket. Are they going to be able to toss it in and break that barrier? It looks like they are. They get a splat as well, but get punished for their efforts. You see that right under the timer there. You've got this little circle ticking down the clock, and now their barrier is back up and protected again. So Yifla will have to build another power clam, which seems like they have if they want to break their barrier again.
Indeed. So when you make a play on the barrier as well, you will always get bonus points when the shield comes back up, equivalent to half of the amount you put in that one power play. But there's a complete wipe once again on Palance Palabion. Yifla with complete control, 2 power clams here. They're going to run their way to the shield. 1 and 2 in. That's 40 points. They have plenty of clams probably coming in around the side as well there. Looks like they've got another power clam, have they got? Did I see one?
Yeah, it looks like they're trying to get that other power clam in, but unable to do so. They did manage to get just a singular clam in to keep it open a slight bit longer.
And there's another party wipe! Palablon just forcing every single situation, and Yifla are just countering and just destroying them every single chance they have.
Yeah, Yifla unable to break that barrier though. Didn't have enough clams at that particular moment, which let Polarbjörn able to spawn back into the map. They definitely need to get control of that center Yifla though, with 22 power clams looking to make this really aggressive push and push for that KO.
Yeah, indeed. There are 68 points to go. They have 60 in hand just with the power clams alone. So, yeah, they're looking for a shutdown again. One member of Palablon down. Reyes fighting for his life. Excellent little bit of movement there. The shimmy around the side of the splash wall. It does eventually go down. Swal and Lutzi will see that there, but another wipeout. Oh, a wipeout goes down, this time against Yifla, giving Palablon a chance, but that was because of the barrier being broken in the back half. A little bit of extra distance gone, yeah.
Yeah, we saw Lutzi there also able to camp that super jump. That would have been an extra 20 points had Lutzi not gotten that splat. So definitely a key defensive position there, even though their barrier did get broken.
Yeah, they've got a minute left. You know, we haven't seen Palablon really make a play in this game. We've seen, obviously, a wipeout at the end, but they couldn't do anything with it. As much as it is good to splat your opponents, you want to get those power clams into the shield and into the net.
Beautiful triple splat right there.
Nice.
Reyes forced to back off really far. This is the opening that Polarbjörn needs if they want to secure that win.
Reyes having the crab tank though, trying to force back. Oh wow! And Kingu goes up into the inkjet, immediately taken down by Dagon with that ball point. Incredible work right now. Another wipeout coming through. The shield is up and ready to go, or down rather, and ready to go. But there's nothing there, nothing to be done. Palablon, unfortunately, they only have 3 clams with 9 seconds to go. Don't think they're going to be able to break the barrier once more as we hit overtime, which isn't going to happen. Once more, Yifla. Oh no, there is going to be overtime. Okay, cool.
There is a power clam sitting under their basket, that pity clam far back, but they haven't picked it up yet, it seems like.
Yes, of course.
So they're going to have to try and build up. They get wiped out. I think this is going to be time ticking down. Really unfortunate push there for Polarbjörn. They didn't really have the clams they needed to break that barrier fast enough. As you saw there, they were tossing clams towards each other on that last push that they had, and they just couldn't get the clams together fast enough to break that barrier in time.
But yeah, that was a really, really methodical victory there. Just consistent breaking down of Palablon's defense and their offense. You know, there were some nice moments here where Palablon got KOs and splats, but just couldn't do anything with it. That was a lovely little 2-for-1 there, you know, spacing back, dragging your opponents towards you, and then taking them down. And as you were saying, this super jump here was super nice to get this coordinated attack. A couple of big power clams in here as well. The twofer. They did have a third one ready, but couldn't get the power clam itself in. Managed to get a couple of extra singles, but yeah. The match there will see Yifla up to 2-0 in this series, and now 1 game away from the grand finals in Stockholm. And Palablon, after a first good round in the turf war, are now backs against the wall. They have to run it all the way back for a reverse 3-0 to find themselves to the finals. Can they do it? That's the question.
Yeah, this is going to be really tough for them. Some of these matches have definitely been really close. It's unfortunate that they haven't been able to secure a point just yet. We'll have to see what they choose to do in this next matchup, knowing that it is going to be a crucial one if they want to stay alive in this particular matchup. Next is going to be Tower Control on Eeltail Alley.
Aye, yes. Tower Control again. It feels like we haven't seen it for a bit. But here it is. Yeah, again, another kind of like generally quite thin-ish map. You know, lots of height variance as well, though. There's a lot of like overarching lines and lower pits to kind of play around. But yeah, so it's going to be interesting to see. Yeah, it's going to be interesting, I think.
Yeah, it's a fantastic map. Uh, we're gonna have to find out what these teams choose to do and how they choose to play this particular map mode combo. If they decide to switch up those weapons, or if we're gonna see them stick to similar weapons that they have been in these previous matches. We have to see also if Polar's Björn, sorry, if they will be able to use those triple ink strikes that they've been using so successfully in previous
Mm.
matches, if they'll be able to use those to great success in this next matchup.
Yeah, they've been doing a lot of double. I mean, I've seen a lot of double ink, double, double, triple ink strikes, to kind of yeah, just push the advantage when they have it, and also kind of cover tracks. So, you know, they've been doing a good job of, you know, to just pop this on the tower, you can't get it, kind of thing, and just allow them a bit more time. You know, but, so looking forward to seeing a little bit more of that kind of interplay between pushing the objective, protecting yourself, and of course forcing the opponent back. But yeah, we'll have to see. The
Yeah,
players
no,
readying up.
Sorry. We'll have to see how they use it to try and zone out their opponents, and also what weapons we'll see Yifla bringing in now. We've seen that crab tank being used really effectively, and of course that Kraken being incredibly strong.
Yeah, it's we'll never stop talking about that Kraken, I guess. Bless it.
Well, it has
yeah.
been really impactful in
Yeah,
those
it
plays.
has, yeah.
It's been a playmaker, pushing out the opponent, getting key splats, and just opening up key areas for your team to push up in.
Well, the game is starting, so let's jump right into it. Game 3, or game 3. Yifla 2-0 up. If they win this game, they are through to the finals in Stockholm. So let's see what they can do.
Yeah, both teams here beelining it straight to the middle. We see Yifla though inking a little bit more, trying to charge up those specials slightly faster than Polar's Björn. Really good play from them to do that.
Okay, early pick from Yifla, getting a couple of splats there as Nami comes out with the Kraken and gets another double. They can start pushing here. Tried to dash out of the ink strike there, but gets taken down.
Lodo putting up a great effort on that tower, just buying their team some time to respawn and get back into things. That push there we saw from Yifla, the Kraken scaring the opponents, and then teammate just coming in and just assisting to get those splats. Beautiful stuff. Lucy though getting the inkjet. Flash Blaster being such a good weapon at that short range. It's not one we see often, but can definitely utilize those blasts at short range to pressure your opponents.
We have seen some magic from the Trizuka as well earlier today, so hopefully we'll maybe see that again. But yeah, the 2-for-1 does allow a little bit of pushback from Palabion. Can't quite push their advantage further past the 88 and get through towards that first checkpoint, but right now Yifla have control. Degno obviously with that ball point gets taken down on, but it was a trade, so they're going to still be making progress because of that 2-for-1 in the favor of Yifla as they're at checkpoint number 2.
Yeah, we see that super jump coming in for that last Yifla player in the back there. Team has been gathered. Looks like Polar's Björn is able to get a little bit more space. Nami though with this Kraken pushing up really aggressively. Unable to take any splats though. Team Goon now with the inkjet. Trying to get some of those clicks. That splash ball was a great counter towards that inkjet. Wasn't able to get much to happen from that.
Quick reaction time for sure. There's a splat down on the side of Yifla right now, so they do, whilst they have the control, they're looking to push a little bit more. They can see they've got 2 players in the corner. Low and Swal can't get out of the corner. Double splat once again. Triple. Oh man, there's just so much control from Yifla. Palabion are fighting back, but just can't find the footing they need, as it's just a consistent raining of danger from Yifla. They're using that height a little bit. Nice bit there. But Nami so quick on the Kraken once again. Forcing that control. Forcing Palabion back. And they're getting past the last checkpoint. They're going down the last corridor. This is going to be it. If they can't get control back, it's over. And it is. Yifla qualify for the Nordic finals.
Yifla securing that spot at the Nordic finals, the Stockholm land. Beautiful match right there, securing control early on. We saw some great fights right there, but Yifla always having that upper hand in those matchups. Beautiful play with the Kraken and Raz together, pushing that 2v2 and securing both of those splats.
Yeah, I think the difference being just their minute-to-minute skirmishing ability, just just kind of outwhittling Palance Pilabion too much. Palance Pilabion, excuse me, I have a stutter, so this name is not easy for me.
It's a tongue twister for me as well.
I'm gonna call them the Popo. P-O. No, I'm not gonna say that. Yeah, they have really nice power play moments, and they can have good set pieces to be able to like pressurize and pincer well, and make good moments. But I think just when it came to the minute-to-minute individual skirmishing, they were just losing or trading too often. They were never coming out on the positive side of those skirmishes, not often enough to be able to kind of push that control and have that slowly snowball towards a victory. And I think that was the big difference. Is usually you'd see at least a trade when it came to Yifla's side, normally a 1-0.
Yeah, I think another thing to know as well, what Yifla was doing well was trying to push those scenarios in 2v1 situations, giving themselves an advantage going into those skirmishes, and just, as you saw there, the 2v2 with that Kraken aggressively pushing up, letting your teammate then be able to take those easy splats because your opponents were scared of that Kraken. I think just putting yourself in those advantageous positions.
Yeah, I mean, the difference, if you're wanting to like do that thing, as you were saying, they were looking for 2v1s. I think that's very astute, because like, a 3v2 is less of a disadvantage than a 2v1. So you can manage a 3v2 and kind of push that off, but if you have two people just pincer on someone, you can easily take them down and then just pull the wave over and pressurize a 4v3. Yeah. Well, and especially if you kind of like have a flanking position because of that as well. But no, excellent work by Yifla. They get their confirmation. They are in. That's 3 teams confirmed for the grand finals in Stockholm. So yeah, we have Hanky Kanto, we have Knoss from yesterday, and Yifla joined the team that beat them in the finals. We have one more team to make it there, so there's 3 teams left to fight for it. So what we're gonna do, obviously we're gonna try and hopefully get that losers bracket match ready to go, so we're gonna take a quick break. When we come back, we'll go over the bracket, we'll go over what we've seen so far as we ready up for round 4 of the day. So don't go anywhere. We'll see you very shortly in the Splatoon 3 European Championships. Welcome back to the Splatoon 3 European Championship 2023. My name is Bowie. I'm joined by Charlie, and we're here to call the action for the final 2 games of the day here in the Nordic qualifiers. Excuse me. So yeah, we have 3 teams have now qualified for the finals. The first 2 qualified on day 1 by winning their pools, and we've been having a double elimination bracket run today to see who our final 2 qualifiers are. So let's have a look at that double elimination bracket to see the story so far on day 2.
Yeah, we've had some really interesting matches and had some fun matches. Yifly in that last series taking the win and qualifying to that Stockholm LAN finals. Super exciting for them. We also had a really great showings from Poland's Polarbjörn. They are currently waiting in that lower bracket finals, so we'll see them after this matchup. But now let's focus on what we have ahead of us. P Inc. versus Blåberg Syltetøy in the losers bracket. This is a game they must win if they don't want to get eliminated out of the tournament.
Indeed. But yeah, so yeah, P Inc. versus Blåberg Syltetøy. So it's a bit of an interesting scenario, but we have to kind of explain it as it kind of comes up. But earlier we were having some internet issues with one of the players. And we were trying to get them reconnected. Apparently some ISP issues are a thing. It just sometimes happen. So one of the teams are down a player, genuinely, and they were like, we want to play it. We'll play it out. So we're gonna have a 4v3.
Yeah, it's a bit of an interesting
which
scenario.
is a little bit unorthodox, but I mean, P Inc. want to play it out. So,
yeah, we're gonna have to let them play it out if they feel
to.
confident. As a team of 3, see what they can make happen. It's really unfortunate that we had this disconnect. Let's have a quick look at the teams and who is in each of these teams as well. First up, we've got P Inc., Umber Knight, Ebbs, Luggage, and Mararin. There's no sub on that team, and sadly, Luggage was having some internet issues, so we'll have the trio of Umber Knight, Ebbs, and Mararin trying to fight to stay alive in this tournament.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things, right, where you can either just DQ because you haven't got a team, or you can at least do the 4v3 and try. So there you go. Right, and then obviously on the other side with Blåberg Syltetøy, we've got their captain Mustafa, Eli, Roy, and Ina. And Evelyn, their sub, who I believe is not currently playing today, but we'll hopefully see at the finals. But yeah, there we go, the Norwegian team, who had a bit of a tricky start to the morning.
Yeah, they've had a bit of a rough start to the morning, but we'll have to see how they bounce back now. They have that number advantage going into the map, but we know P Inc. is a scary team, so they definitely can't underestimate them.
Okay, so, right. Let's have a look at round 4 matches, and let's see what exactly our players are going to be playing on, when, and why. So yeah, Turf War, as always, Wahoo World, Hagglefish Market, and then if we go the distance, Museum d'Alfonsino.
Yeah, lots of interesting matches there. Then we're going to follow it with the Anarchy Battles, Rainmaker on Humpback Pump Track, Clam Blitz on Macomart, and potentially we'll also see Tower Control on Undertow Spillway and Splat Zones on Flounder Heights. We've definitely got some fun matches ahead of us.
Yes, indeed, yeah. I think, it's nice to see Humpback Pump Track. I need to always say that so slowly, just in case. But yeah, Rainmaker on that one. Yeah, and we had a pretty good game on it yesterday as well. Like it's a good map for this mode. Like very again the good aggression that's built into it. But then there are some really fun ways you can break through lines and make these plays for mid. It's a fun stage I think for Rainmaker. So it's going to be good to see. Then Clam Blitz on Macomart.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see. The first one we're going to see now is Wahoo World Turf War. Fantastic map, does spin around and rotate a lot in that central area. We'll have to see how players choose to utilize those bridges that get formed as the middle of the map spins.
Oh yes, yeah. I think it's interesting when you have those kind of strange dynamics as well. We're seeing it yesterday where I think actually Yifla was playing on it, I think, and there's this whole thing where, like, when the ground spins and you've just spent all your time inking this turn, and it just goes around the carousel to the opposing team. You're just like, well, I can't I can't get that.
Well, at least you'll be getting
me.
the opponent's turf as well, so you'll be able to cover it over. So it goes both ways, you know.
Yes, yeah. I mean, of course, yes, yes, of course. But it's always just a bit fun to see your ink slowly disappear underneath the thing. Like, well, see you later, bye. But yeah,
Taking a lap.
right. Yeah, indeed, yeah. So it looks like our players are getting ready. I heard in my ear there. I think. So we're almost into the game. But yes.
Yeah.
Should be a good
We're
one.
almost
I mean,
into the game. P Inc. has got a lot of work in front of them if they want to win this 3v4 situation right here. Blåberg Syltetøy is definitely a strong team that you don't want to be facing off as a 3v4.
yes, I was going to say. I mean, P Inc. You know, they would rather just play the 3v4 than not. And so again, for anyone joining us, it is going to be a little unorthodox. But P Inc. were happy to play with it. I know it's not, you know, but you know, admin were like, you know, this is fine. It's you know, it's better to give them a chance than just to say nope. So you know, it is how it's going to be. We never know. But the game is starting, so let's jump into our first turf war as we have P Inc. versus Blåberg Syltetøy. And it's going to be a fun one. The 3 v the 4. So I mean, I wonder how this is actually going to change exactly how they need to like team up and create, you know.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see the approach here coming out of P Inc., especially how do they choose to divide up their players. Seems like one player is going up really strongly in the front, whilst 2 players are flanking to each of the sides of the map. Mustafa, though, with control of mid, fighting against Umbra Knight and getting that trade. Trades usually aren't as important in a regular match. They obviously can be impactful, but in this particular scenario, you're setting up your team for a 3v2 if you're on Blåberg Syltetøy, so they will definitely take those trades happily.
One member of P Inc. going down, 2 members going down. Yeah, remember, it's also a lot harder. It's a lot easier to get a wipeout completely when there's only 3 members on that team. But so far, it's looking pretty back and forth as it always is. You know, as I say, a 4v3 is not quite as devastating as you know a 4v2 or a 2v1. Those kind of situations, the percentages are not so bad. But you know, the sheer coverage right now that Blåberg have in something like a turf war as well. Like, you'd have to say, when it comes to the other modes, there's still some kind of like semblance of being able to make good plays and push forward, you know, despite number disadvantage. But when it comes to just sheer ground coverage, it's going to be so hard for 3 people. You know, you have 75% of the squid power to
yeah, it's
cover
going to be interesting
ground.
with that Maraudon, with that Hydra that we sometimes see in the meta. Definitely has to do a lot of damage output, I feel, to be able to make sure that Blåberg Syltetøy are 1 player down. Mustafa there with the 1v1, 2v1 there with Ina coming up from the side. Beautiful awareness there from both players to be able to support each other in those matchups. Beautiful job. Yeah, I saw Ina as well earlier in this match, inking the spawn whilst 3 players were pushing P Inc. back into their spawn. And when their teammates got splatted, Ina had the awareness to come up and help in that initial push at the top, you know?
Aye.
Beautiful job here. Rarin charging up that Hydra, being able to get 1 splat, but those tri-ink strikes not letting up the pressure. Ina gets taken down there. Rarin as well with the Booyah Bomb, trying to send it out for some ink coverage.
They're fighting back pretty well and doing a good job despite the number disadvantage. But a trade there, obviously not in a good position for P Inc. As another member goes down as well.
Yeah.
It's just the 2v1 there. It's a bit too much. Mustafa now trying to fight back. Umbra Knight on the side
His
there.
last 10 seconds are always the most impactful for Blåberg Syltetøy, with a lot of turf coverage right now, using that Booyah Bomb as well to get even more turf coverage, and Mustafa pushing up on the opposing side. I think this is going to be a win for Blåberg Syltetøy in the first turf war match. Pretty dominant game, being able to push in heavily into the P Inc. territory.
Yeah, it's just one of those things. The numbers disadvantage in something like turf war is a little bit too overwhelming. You need to make consistent, considerable, and reliable, you know, team fight wins and wipeouts consistently But in a game like this, where there's so much space and position to work with, that it's hard to get those consistent wipeouts, especially when it comes to a number disadvantage. You know, yeah, I mean that's the thing. You're having to fight there. You're having their coverage, and you're having the you're fighting the coverage, and you're fighting the numbers.
Yeah.
Oh, I've also just got a little bit of an update that Luggage has finally, the ISP has returned. So Luggage is able to rejoin us. The 4v3 will end here.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a great opportunity now for P Inc. to hopefully be able to take back some of these Turf War matches. Hopefully for them be able to take back some of these Turf War matches. It has given Blåberg Syltetøy a 1 win above them in this Turf War best of 3, but it's definitely not doable, you know? We'll have to see how it goes.
Yeah, it's not impossible, yeah, for sure. It's going to be, I mean, it's very lucky that Luggage came back, so it wasn't a case of disconnecting, but the ISP just kind of went, so to actually have it kind of come back is excellent timing for P Inc. They must be very happy about that one. So we're going to get Luggage back in and cleaned up, and then that should be good.
Yeah, our next Turf War map is Hagglefish Market. This one we're going to watch as a 4v4. We're going to have to see now how P Inc. adapts with their 4th player being able to join in, if they can pick things right back up from where they left off, or if they're going to struggle being able to, you know, be a bit distracted maybe in this matchup with all the circumstances.
Yeah, you've got to hope that those kind of things don't affect your mentality going into the game. Ironically, you kind of got the idea of like going back to a 4v4 reminds me of the idea. It makes me think of the idea of like, you know, competitions that look at like 2v2s and 1v1s kind of thing, and how that would look and feel in a game like this. But yeah. Okay, we are in game 2. We've got, look at all those players. 8 Inklings and Octolings. Wow.
Beautiful team right there. Luggage as well with the 10-to-tech splatter shot. Going to be bringing those tri-strikes to the team. It's going to be important to just secure some of that map presence.
Yeah, double triple strike and double wave breaker it looked like as well.
Yeah.
Just to hold that control wherever they can, force a little bit of movement from our players.
Yeah, beautiful movement there from Mustafa, being able to dodge over that wave breaker and being able to put a lot of pressure on the opposing team. Those specials coming out now though. Mustafa avoiding the specials and being able to push up. Beautiful job there from Mustafa, getting those key players out of the game. Luggage as well now stuck in a difficult spot as Mustafa is trying to pressure Luggage out of the center. Mustafa does pick up that splat on Luggage as well. Roy now with the Booyah Bomb, putting up lots of pressure against P Inc. now.
Yeah, that was a nice passage of play, seeing that from Mustafa. Loads of presence around multiple parts of the map, and just taking a lot of power plays, getting a lot of splats. So very nicely done. So far, Blåberg Syltetøy are doing a great job of staying in this game, despite the fact that P Inc. have their 4th member. Yeah, as you were saying earlier, you got to hope that, you know, perhaps their mentality is a bit shaken by the situation, or at least the momentum that Blåberg had gained from that first game can be held on a little bit here. So fighting back and forth, you know, all 4 players alive. P Inc. loses 1 member right there. Ink Strike goes out. This mid still being contested quite nicely. Booyah Bomb again comes in, but evaded, but it forces the opponent. They couldn't go back because of the Booyah Bomb. Had to go forward straight into the waiting arms of their opponent.
Yeah, beautiful play right here from P Inc. getting back into the game and getting control of middle. Now it's Blåberg Syltetøy a bit on the back foot, trying to push ahead and take out these 2 pressing players. Umber Knight here just rolling around, seeing if they can pick off one of the opponents. These tri-strikes are placed beautifully from the side of P Inc. Blåberg Syltetøy forced to retreat really far back. Ina cornered there in a 3v1 situation.
Yeah, it's a bit tricky here. We have Roy and Eli now back. Eli peppering the map from on high. Umbra Knight forced back to play around the center a little bit, trying to find ways to just to get one or two shots or so. Just to pressure, takes down Mustafa, gets pushed back down a little, and then goes down himself eventually. 1-for-1 here. 20 seconds left on the clock. Can Blaubash find the power play they need as they are trying to take control of mid and force them back? Oh, there's a triple splat down. P-Inc lose all of their control in the last 10 seconds once again. Oh man, this is going to be another like last minute, turnaround. And we have a little bit of fight back from P-Inc trying to get in there. There's the game. Was it enough of a turnaround for Blaubash to take this game and take the first point in the set?
That was a beautiful play in those last seconds of the game. Blåberg Syltetøy having control of the map and taking the win in those final seconds. My goodness, that was a very important wipe at the end there. They got most of the players down, got a bit of a delayed wipe out, and managed to secure a lot of turf thanks to that last moment.
Indeed, yeah, very, very nicely done indeed. Nice and clean. Again, it's all about those final moments, as we were saying. Yeah, there was Roy getting being taken down. Mustafa there. Just again having a lot of. I think that was like the final play. Mustafa did a lot of kind of dealing with individual opponents. We just kind of come in, get that roll with the Julies. Quickly get a couple of quick fire shots off, take a splat, move on, and that kind of rapid fire, that fast paced, almost like assassin style gameplay, is really lovely to see and can, as you saw, turn the tides of that final moment, as well as being a kind of critical early play from Blaubash to get a lot of control in the early game as well.
That was absolutely beautiful. We saw Blåberg Syltetøy, they had control of the map in the beginning portions of the game. Yifly took control in the middle, but that final wipe, those last seconds right there as the clock was ticking down, that push and that wipe was what pushed them over the edge to take this match and take the turf war point.
Indeed. So 1-0 then to Blåberg Syltetøy. They've got to win 2 more to knock P-Inc out of the tournament and give themselves one more fighting chance for that final spot in the finals. So as we go back to the map, we're going to be having... It's going to be, Humpback Pump Track Rainmaker. The players are readying up right now. We'll be getting into that game ASAP. So aggression, really, really fun map to play on as well. That big open central space.
We mentioned this map earlier as well. It's a really fun map and mode combination. It fits really well with the playstyle of Rainmaker with those big open areas, but also the different wavy platforms and height differences that this map offers. It'll be crucial for players to see how they can use those to their advantage as they try to push the Rainmaker as far as possible.
Yeah, it's as you say, that open space is definitely what allows us just a lot more anarchy to reign, because there's less to kind of play around, there's less kind of sneaking around. It's just an ink bath, to use the terminology. It's a lot of just sheer combat in this one.
Yeah, most definitely. We see both the teams loading in here, and luggage playing that undercover Brella. We saw it being used so efficiently yesterday. They didn't choose to play it in their first matchup of the day where they lost. So choosing to bring it back now in these crucial moments. Yesterday, that undercover umbrella being incredibly strong, both at getting some key splats and pushing up aggressively, but also using that reef slider to great use. That reef slider being able to push into opposing territory, scare off opponents, and even pick off splats on opponents who aren't expecting it.
Yeah, it's a nice, I guess, injection of speed to a situation and positioning change. Luggage going straight for the first checkpoint, gets it, pulls back a little bit, now fighting forward. There's the reef slider straight into the back line, gets a splat for it as well. There are 3 down on the side of Blåberg Syltetøy, as now P-Inc looking to fight back. They have the Rainmaker again. Aggression right there. Umbra Knight pushing forward. Very, very strong. Goes straight through, but gets picked off before he can get there. 90 points or 90 points of distance have been made. Blaubash now have their chance to fight back. Inkjet coming out once again from Eli. Gets a splat on Ebbs. Now forcing back the remaining team members of P-Inc. And the where we hit back into just the neutral, trying to find positions.
P-Inc with a beautiful push right there. putting Blåbär Syltetøy on the back foot. They got to try and make a really big push if they want to take this game now. Umbernight here in the middle, though, P-Ink doing a great job at grouping their team together and pushing those fights in advantage positions.
Yes, indeed. So,
Blåbär Syltetøy, though, with a beautiful pop of the Rainmaker. Luggage stuck in an awkward situation, but does manage to get out of it.
Oh, Eli getting stuck in that ink storm as well, was slowed down and then taken down by the opponents. They were by P-Ink. Nicely done. A couple of ink strikes coming out there as well, just to cover a little bit of ground. The Suffer goes down once more. Yeah, there's almost a team wipe there once again on the side of Blåbär as P-Ink with the Rainmaker start forcing up. Eli is by themselves, but that ball point is just has such good range. Oh wow, point blank shot onto Ina. Ina goes down. 2 team members down once again from Blåbär. Can P-Ink secure it here?
P-Ink here with that final push, trying to get it onto the podium. Mirarin doing a great job at utilizing that height to stay out of the range of Blåbär Syltetøy. They're really struggling in this situation to get any footing here. Just those constant Rainmaker shots being really difficult to deal with. Mustafa, though, gets a nice little shot onto the Rainmaker. That Re-Slider coming out, however, inking the podium. Luggage as well, almost getting the splat on Eli. Ina, though, nice save in the last quarters of their map.
Yeah, that was it was just overwhelming odds, really. You know, did a great job to survive as long as they did, but yeah, Luggage gets taken down eventually. Mustafa now trying to find a couple of quick splats, you know, using those mobilities, using the mobility that Julie's allow. His rolls coming out cleanly, but once again, Rainmaker is the play. We've got an ink strike coming on. They're going to try and go for that first checkpoint. Eli gets it, but immediately taken down.
But they do get punished for breaking through it. That Rainmaker was stuck in a really tough position there with the strikes coming and raining down above them, forcing them into that corner. Rainmaker getting reset though, and Blåbär Syltetøy getting the pop and getting some control of mid. Roy though getting taken out. Eli now is left all alone. Oh, they've joined up with their teammates here. Eli now completely alone, unable to make anything happen with that push. They've got 1 minute left if they want to secure this lead.
The last few seconds going to be ticking down now as we are back into the center. Nice shot from the Rainmaker. Doesn't quite take a stock, but get a splat, but does get taken down themselves. Luggage there. Oh, goes. Luggage went for the reef slider, but got caught out of it. You know, just it was a direct line. Mustafa now with the Booyah Bomb throws that over to the platform. Eli here with the Rainmaker trying to make their way forward, looking to try and see if they can just get the advantage. That's all they need. P-Ink are down. They're going to get that lead, and the game is over. Blåbär Syltetøy get the victory. 2-0 over Pink after such a strong start.
Yeah, getting that lead and getting that knockout from behind. Absolutely insane play there from Blåbär Syltetøy. We love to see it. Even on that back foot, getting control of mid, getting that wipeout in those final moments just to secure that knockout and secure the lead.
Now, P-Ink, I said it earlier by accident because they were still in winner's bracket, but now P-Ink are up against it. If they lose this game, they're out of the tournament. Don't even make finals. The last time, obviously, when we had Denmark 2019, they came third. They were in that grand final. They made it to that. They made it to that stage. But they're on the cusp of dropping out a little bit shy of that particular position, which is a bit of a shame if that is the future they have in store. But it's not over yet. It's never over until that final game is done. So we're going to be going on to game 3, Clam Blitz, Mako Mart as well. So going to slow down the pace a little bit, less erratic, you know, combat and just general skirmishing, but just more focusing on getting these clams pushing forward power play.
Yeah, I think these maps on round 4, Rainmaker followed by Clam Blitz, both are pretty fast-paced modes, but definitely Clam Blitz a little slower than Rainmaker. It gives you time to slow down that mode. We'll have to see how they bounce back now, being down 2 games. P-Ink are really on the back foot here, looking to get that reverse sweep, or at least just stay alive for the moment, taking it 1 game at a time.
Yeah, I mean, if you start thinking about it as a reverse sweep, that's when it's like, that's when you can kind of get in your own head, as you say, 1 game. Win this game, win that game, win the other game. That's as simple as that. You know, you can't do the reverse 3-0 without getting the first two.
Yeah,
So-
exactly. It all starts with this one game of Clam Blitz on a Mako Mart. Gonna be interesting. This map, the baskets are really close to the center. It's really easy to pop those baskets, so it's gonna be another high-paced game, I believe. We'll have to see who
Yeah.
comes out on top and if we'll see that undercover umbrella again. We saw that Reef Slider in this previous matchup being used there to almost secure the knockout for P Inc. Sadly, it wasn't enough for them in that matchup, but we'll have to see if it will be strong in this matchup.
Indeed, indeed. Looking down the barrel of dropping out of the tournament, P Inc. will make their stand here in Mako Mart.
Ooh, an interesting weapon there,
Lovely.
luggage with the ink brush. Ink brush is almost never seen in the meta, but of course, those who play Anarchy, they know every time there's Clam Blitz, there's gonna be a million brushes. Yeah, luggage here, one of the advantages of the ink brush is just that speed, being able to get into the opposing end really fast. To allow potentially for your team to have a super jump in.
Yeah, there was a trade afterwards, but they took two stocks in the end, took two splats in the end. So I'm going back to the old terminology. Yeah, it's Smash terminology. I got to get it out of my head sometimes. But yeah, taking a couple of splats there. P Inc. are one down. No particular plays just yet. There's plenty of clams on Blawbash's side. There's 4 currently on Eli. Moving forward now with the Inkjet. Takes down Umbra Knight. Looking to for pressure a little bit more. Is that line down the center open? There is the power clam goes in. First blood once again over on Blawbash's side. They get a couple of clams in. Multiple of their team members go down. Looks like that's going to be the last play for now. No more clams. It'll be a 26 opener. 13 comes back. And
beautiful starting play there from Blåbærs Støtte. We'll have to see how P Inc. responds now. They do have that pity clam. After your basket closes, you do get a clam to be able to start that counter push with. So we'll have to see how that pity clam plays into the game and if they're going to be able to get towards that basket. One thing to watch out for here is that ink brush. If they're going to be able to flank around and potentially see a super jump towards their basket. That's always something Blåbærs Støtte have to be really mindful of.
The defense. In like a game where you're spending so much time pushing forward to objectives, you know, and always the idea of moving forward, it's very easy sometimes when, you know, this is a particular game that has a weakness that is behind you. So yeah, another power clam goes into the shield for Blåbærs, so they have another advantage. P Inc. 2 members down. Mustafa gets taken down eventually as well, but there are still some clams being thrown in. Individual clams down to 40. 3 members of Blåbærs down now. That's got to be the end of the play. No more clams in just yet. But again, 40. They've made a really, really good opening start. Mirarin here has a power clam. Going to want to try and make their way over to the other side with that. And hopefully, for P Inc.'s sake, this is the beginning of their fight back.
Blåbærs Støtte had a fantastic push right there, putting a big dent into the score. They all started with that wipeout. Beautiful push. Mirarin here, though, seems to have a gateway to be able to toss in that power clam. P Inc. breaking the barrier for the first time now. Will they be able to toss any extra clams in? They've tossed 1 in. Will they be able to toss another in and keep this open? It looks like the defense is looking pretty stellar on Blåbærs Støtte, not letting the opposing team get any more clams in that basket.
Yeah, nicely done just to kind of hold the line after they did get broken once. So off we go back into another push potentially for P Inc. luggage. Again, having another power clam available and ready, just staying with a teammate. Don't want to be too close. There is a pity clam there, just that's left behind. Just to make sure that all this space is controlled and possible. But oh wow, a splat coming in. Nicely done by Eli, excuse me, with that ball point. Such range, dropping their power clams. It looks like P Inc. still have 1 available. Blåbærs lose theirs, maybe.
Beautiful play there from Eli, managing to get that power clam in. The score is remaining at 17 now. Doesn't look like they'll be able to throw anything else in now, but that was another big push by Blåbærs Støtte. They've had these steady 3 or 4 pushes now. So we'll have to see if P Inc. can counter this. They've got Mirari with a Clam as well. So we'll have to see if they're able to get towards that basket. At the moment, it doesn't seem like they're able to get up anywhere near it.
Yeah, and time is not on their side. It's ticking away slowly but surely. 40 seconds left, and P Inc. have to win this or they are out of the tournament and not repeating their finals attendance. So, yeah, 30 seconds left now. Roy defending on the right-hand side here, just throwing that bomb down just a little bit. 3 clans in hand himself. A bit again, 17 to 77. P Inc. has to make something happen now. Again, they have 1 power clam in hand, 10 in total overall as Mustafa is pushing in. 15 seconds left. It's just a maelstrom of action in the center. Eli, you know, Blaubash are just controlling so well. They just won't let P Inc. in. And
breaking the barrier as well.
Blaubash get the barrier break as well, and they see it home with a KO and everything. P Inc. is eliminated from the tournament. Blaubash Siltete one last chance to get into that grand final. They will advance to the losers finals to face off against, once again, Porlant Palabion, who they played in their winners side, I believe, to get to this position in the first place.
Yeah, Blaubash Siltete had an amazing Clam blitz match right here. Beautiful gameplay, being able to pop that basket multiple times and securing lots of controlled pushes. Stellar Clam blitz gameplay. We love to see that. And getting that knockout on 1 second. Bit unnecessary, but we'll take it.
Yeah. Is it really unnecessary? It's always necessary to KO. I said earlier that it was Blaubash played against Yifla, I believe, in the first game. So apologies about that one. I just misspoke. They were in the same group together, though. I would like to quickly, if I can, open up the bracket if I can find it, and just check the results of those 2 yesterday, because that's going to be important to have a little look at. There it is, the qualifier. Let me have a look at this. Brackets, day 1 round robin scores. So, oh no, they weren't together. What happened here then?
Yeah, they were in separate groups yesterday, so it's going to be the first time we see these teams facing off against each other now in the losers finals. It's going to be a really crucial matchup. Winner secures a spot at the Stockholm LAN finals next month, and loser gets eliminated. So this is going to be a really crucial match to get that win.
Yeah, sorry, I was having a look at the wrong one. It was, in fact, it was that the teams that just played, Blaubash and P Inc., who were already in the same team. I want to see, just out of curiosity for my own sake now, I want to see how it went last time, just to see if that was inconsistent with how it went or not. There's P Inc. there, round 4. P Inc. Blaubash. Oh, P Inc. won 3-1. So for Blaubash to come back in 3-0 the opposite direction is very, very good work to kind of make that improvement from yesterday. So excellent work from them. Okay, cool. Yes, as Charlie was saying, we've got one more game to see who will be coming into our last, or who will be getting the last place for those finals. So we're going to have one more break as we prepare for our final match of the day and lock in our final competitor. Will it be Porlant Palabion or will it be Blaubash Siltete? Find out in just a few minutes. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to the Splatoon 3 European Championships 2023. We're here at the Nordic Qualifiers, remotely here at the Nordic Qualifiers. My name is Bowie, I am joined by Charlie, and we are going to be your commentators to see out the last game of the day. We've been running a double elimination bracket to confirm our final two members of the Nordic community who are going to be going to, or teams of the Nordic community going to the the Nordic finals in Stockholm on the 2nd of September. So let's have a look at the way the bracket has looked so far today. Big story so far is that Yifla, after having dropped to the bracket stage, after being beaten and upset by Knoss, have made their way through to the qualification, having beaten Blåbärs Siltetøy and then Poland Palabion earlier today. Nice, strong stuff from them. But that's not all we've had to deal with.
Yeah, we've also seen P Inc. losing out. Sadly, we've had to say goodbye to them for this tournament, but they put out a great effort against Polans Polarbjörn and Blåbärs Syltetøy. Polans Polarbjörn, some strong showing in those initial matches. Lost against Gifla, but now they have another chance to get that qualification spot secured. Blåbärs Syltetøy, however, fighting their way through that losers bracket, also wants a chance at this qualification for Stockholm on the 2nd of September.
What I find really interesting about this as well is how closely seeded both Blåbärs and Poland Palabion are. They're very, very close on those seedings, and they both managed to make. Seeding. Yeah, they both managed to beat out P Inc., who is a higher seed than them. So they both played very, very well today, and they're looking forward to. I'm looking forward to seeing them go head to head. A little bit of a fun stat we got before, just during break from the lovely production. That apparently these two teams are scrim partners. That they do a lot of practice, a lot of practice together and scrim each other quite often. So they must know each other's play style fairly well, and it's going to be fascinating to see the nuances of that play out.
Most definitely be interesting to see if they have any counter weapon choices, considering they know the opposing team pretty well. So it'll be really interesting to see. But let's have a look at the stages we're going to be playing on today, the map mode combos.
Indeed, the final round of the day, once more onto the Breach Turf War. Best of 3 to open. Eeltail, Ali, Manta Maria are our opening 2. If we go the distance, Hammerhead Bridge. And then once again, it's Anarchy time.
Yeah, we're going to have Splat Zones on Umami Ruins, Rainmaker on Scorch Gorge, and potentially Clam Blitz on Brinewater Springs, and Tower Control on Inkblot Art Academy if it does go the distance. These are some fantastic map mode combinations right here.
Yeah, I like these ones. I'm looking forward to. I'd like to see the tower control on Inkblot just because I like Inkblot. But Clam Blitz on Brinewater, yeah, I'm about that one. That open, that very very kind of like open low space must make for an interesting way of trying to find your flank and trying to find your way in. Because normally you have the all of these little like angles you can try and find, but that one's a little bit more flat, I guess, when it comes to actually being on that bottom bit. In terms of like, it's quite linear, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, but let's not get too far ahead of ourselves.
Oh, of course.
Let's have a look at these teams and the team compositions they might be playing. Starting off with Polans Polarbjörn, the Finnish-Swedish team with their captain Lutzi, Swal, Lo, and Kengun. Playing great so far, having some insane matches and just putting up great work against some of these higher seeds. We've seen them consistently play well, even though they've lost some of their matches against those higher seeds. They've played incredibly well in those matches, so I think they will be a tough opponent for Blåbärs Syltetøy to beat.
Yes, indeed. And Kengun and Swal definitely, making their marks with lots of great plays. Looking at that Norwegian team, though, Blåbärs Syltetøy, we've got Mustafa, the captain, Eli, Roy, and Ina, who have been playing quite strongly together. Evelyn, their sub, who hasn't been playing this weekend, but we'll probably be joining them in the finals if they make it. But yeah, I mean, so far it's been great work from Blåbärs. There was a lot of excellent play from Eli, holding ground. Mustafa with some excellent skirmishing, really, really good, clutch plays here and there, whilst Roy and Eno just acting as epic supports. So it's nice to kind of see them all kind of like find their roles and like help out where necessary. So we've got two very, I think, closely matched teams, and looking forward to seeing them go head to head. I mean, we're going to be starting off with the turf war, which is going to be a lot of silliness, but we love a bit of silliness as well. Will any of them run that more kind of like slower 4-man wave or 4-character wave pushing forward, or are we going to have that 3-1 push at the start to try and get control of the mid? We'll have to see.
Yeah, it will definitely be interesting to see how these teams choose to approach this turf war. We've seen lots of interesting approaches, but let's hop into our first match, Eeltail Alley turf war. Let's get into
indeed.
it.
Yeah, players readying up, and as soon as they are good, we're going to jump straight in. Yeah, I think one of them is just currently waiting on that, but that's fine. They like to take their time sometimes, bless them. Yeah, I'm trying to think about something. Let me just have a little quick look. There it is. Yes, Eeltail Alley. Again, this is one of our more like it's not a completely thin one, but it's a bit of a thinner kind of stage, quite linear. It's got that nice mix between like very, very high highs and very, very low lows in the towards the center. So actually fighting for that lower spot, there's so much ground coverage to be had. But obviously, you know, those higher points are where we're going to be looking to try and take control of in order to, you know, take that control.
Yeah, most definitely. I think those high points on the map are going to be a bit of choke points. Whoever has control of that upper portion is going to have a huge advantage going into it. We see a similar approach here. One player back at spawn, and the rest of the 3 pushing forward, trying to get those early splats right here. Mustafa just rolling around the middle area, trying to secure control for their team. Poland Björn have activated their specials, getting a double splat on the opposing squad right now. That double ink wall going out. Swall with an amazing play, pushing forward into the opposing squad right there.
Really nice early strength, of course. It's only the early part of the game, but you can see they can now just continually take that turf. You have Swal and Lutzi and Low on that left-hand side. Kengun are by themselves with that inkjet, just causing some chaos. Taking a splat onto Roy as well. Still not going down as well. Survives after that as well. Not punished. There's a complete wipeout as well by Polabion. Looking strong and looking good indeed. They need to try and get as much of their specials back as they can, whilst Blåbärs start to make their fight back. There's plenty of space there to try and get their specials. Polans lose one of their members there. Mustafa taking that
job
splat.
there from Poland Björn, being able to stay alive in those crucial moments. Mustafa, though, with a splat on Kingun, and Eli activating that inkjet. We're going to have to see now if Eli is able to take any of the splats. No splats for Eli, but a great push into mid. We see Ina getting taken down here, and Mustafa winning that 1v1. Beautiful stuff right there. The Booyah Bomb getting tossed down, allowing Mustafa some space to move into those opposing quarters.
Yeah, fighting back very nicely here are Blåbärs Siltatay. Poland Polabion just needing to hold the line, but getting taken down there. Mustafa once again getting a bunch of KOs. Last minute to go, and it's very hotly contested. It still looks a little bit in favor of Poland Polabion, but again, all it takes is one good play towards the final hour, final moments of this game.
Yeah, Blåbärs Siltatay have done a great job to recover from that initial wipeout. Doing a great job at securing control of mid. We see Ina here in a close range battle, unable to get the splat. Lutzi now, though, getting surrounded. Good call out there from Ina to ensure the teammates could take out that opponent. Mustafa here using that Booyah Bomb. Does get kind of pressure. So wall into the corner, though, gets taken down. Kingu now trying to fight off this pressure that Blåbärs Siltatay is putting out.
Last 10 seconds then. Again, this is the position where it's all won or lost. Mustafa trying to stay alive. Gets there, taken down at the last moment, though. It's 2 down for Blåbärs Siltatay, but have they pushed far enough into Poland Polabion's base to keep them safe? We'll have a look at that map and see how it looks.
I have a feeling this one is going to be really close. I think Blåbärs Siltatay has it, and they do. Very, very close match and great recovery from that initial wipeout, where they got pushed back so far into their spawn.
Yeah, it was just one of those things where, in that final moments where they had enough control that it was difficult for Palabion to fight back and actually get enough turf. They had done enough of a job, and that was really, really good. They pushed really far forward. Mustafa just doing so much work. You were just seeing there the early wipeout against Blåbærs, but early plays are not as critical as late plays. It is just the nature of turf war.
Yeah, those early plays are mostly to set you up for a great late game, but those late plays are definitely what matters in turf war. That was some beautiful gameplay right there. At the end, though, Mustafa getting taken down, it looked like there was a chance for Blåbærs to lose their advantage, and they somehow held on to it.
So players are readying up for our second turf war. We're going to be going to the Manta Maria, which again, I think it's a little bit different on turf war, obviously. You've got that central mass is going to be kind of fought over because it allows you to kind of get up to that higher point very, very quickly and very easily. We could talk all day about how mid is a very, very important part of most of these maps, but I think that there's the dynamic height that comes from the mast is pretty important.
Yeah, that central area with that mast and those grates surrounding it definitely can play a key role in this matchup. And in general, just on this map, if you have control of that central area, you're going to have lots of avenues to push up from. You can also see on this right side here, there is a jump that you can do to reach the basket a bit early. The jump that Mustafa is taking right now, that's another one of those avenues that you can flank in from. Beautiful Splat there from Mustafa. Unable to get the double, but that allows the team to push in really heavily. Lutzi forced to back off really far into their base.
Indeed, yeah. That's the I guess the power of a player like Mustafa, is able to push situations and force interactions, usually and hopefully in your favor.
Yeah, Mustafa's so confident on those Bluga dualies. Mustafa's been playing those since Splatoon 2. So just really confident on that weapon and doing a great job at utilizing the movement from that weapon to roll around and dodge the opponent's shots.
Yeah, the whale came through to take down, I believe, Mustafa. I think it was Roy. Took him down when he was trying to charge. But yeah, back to this like a normal point. We've got a little bit of space off on the right. There's unclaimed territory completely, which might need to just be picked up a little bit just to help.
Lutzi now attempting the jump into the side.
Ina is waiting there.
Back off a little bit, but is ready definitely if the push comes through.
Yeah, Lutzi's going over for it now. Going over to that height to try and get a better flank here. Takes down Roy. Very nice from Lutzi. Back in now, inside the base. Going to do a lot of covering, forcing the opponent to react. Drops a tacticooler as well. Teammates going to join them, get those buffs as well. Oh, okay. Lutzi teammates could drop down beside them as the Inkjet is doing so much work. Great job there from Eli just to completely relieve that pressure that was being thrown out.
That was a really aggressive use of that tacticooler as well, to make sure that even when they got taken down, they're already back now. They could super jump to their teammates really fast. Having that teammate as well come in, so they were two at the top using that tacticooler. Usually you want to put down the tacticooler a bit further back so your entire team can get use of it. But in that situation, using it for that push, making sure those two players were able to push up so far and then not get punished for getting spotted. Here we see the more further back use of that tacticooler. That's usually how it's used, ensuring that everyone can grab one of those lovely drinks that buff you all up.
I guess that's what they're trying to say. I would like a water, please. Right, so we've got 10 seconds left right now. 10 seconds left on the clock here. Where can the power play be done? Is Blåbærs going to take this one? I can't quite see the overall feel of the map right now, but it's looking like it's strong for Blåbærs once more. If they do get this win, they are going one up in the series. Oh, that's close. I think that might be... Oh, okay, 4 percentage in it. It is Blåbærs taking it.
It's close.
It always is that close. Oh, not always, but it is that. I love it when it is that close. When you can't quite tell from the map who wins, it's always nice to see that. Now our highlights once again. Mustafa doing a lot of great work here, but again couldn't keep it up between the whale and other pressure here. Mustafa now again, just being a bit of a distraction. And that final splat potential, that final couple of splats may have been enough percentage difference. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, that was a really close match right there. I almost thought that Blue by Siltete weren't going to have it in those final moments, but that Inkjet right there being a crucial play just to get those extra splat and that extra turf in those final moments.
Yeah, for sure. Right. We're going to be moving on from the turf war, however, because we've done our best of 3. It's 1 point in favor of Blåbærs Siltete, which means that they have 2 more to win in order to book their place in the Nordic finals, which puts a lot of pressure on Poland Palabion, who have had a very good morning. I have to say they did a good job against Pink. Fought pretty nicely as well against Yifla, who are just a little bit too strong. So going into the next one, Splat Zones, Umami Ruins for our first Anarchy battle of the final game of the day. Our players are just readying up, and as soon as we get that go ahead, we will be jumping into the game. There's a lot of pressure on this one though, because this is it. If the winner takes it all, the loser loses it all.
Yeah, definitely. This is a really crucial match here just to see how the momentum of this series is going to go. If they're able to tie it up, or if Blåbær Siltete is going to get a massive advantage here in the series. So we'll have to see. This is an important match to secure the place in the Stockholm LAN final September 2nd. These players are fighting for their chance to be there.
Indeed, it's they're putting their all into it as well. They as I said, they've been putting their all into it. All teams have been playing like excellently over the course of the weekend. So looking forward to seeing them kind of end it out and end it strong. All right then, Umami Ruins. This is the one. Blåbær Siltete with a strong. Yeah. They've got that slight advantage. They've got that confidence. They're pushing straight in. Now, again, with Umami Ruins, it is two separate spaces separated by this central zone. So they're not too separated, these two zones. One on both teams.
It's currently a skirmish. Who can get that early control of the zone? It's going very much back and forth here. You see Mustafa doing a great job at just staying back and making sure they can try and get those picks. Polands though, able to get that control. And the Inkjet coming out of Clean Goon right here. Are they going to be able to get any picks? Mustafa gets that Booyah Bomb out now. Able to take control of one of the zones. Only one left if they want to break up this streak that Polands is trying to start.
Yeah, they have wrested control once back, but immediately lost it again. Not completely reverted control, but it's losing complete control. So their timer will stop ticking down. But as you can see, there's a complete wipeout right now. Blåbær Siltete have control, and they will start ticking down as Poland Palabion have to respawn and make their way back in.
Beautiful play right there. Mustafa as well being able to charge up that Booyah Bomb, sending it in against Team Goon right there, forced to back off. These players now a bit on the back foot. Polands Palabion trying to get in towards the zone, but Blåbær Siltete are not letting that happen. They've left the zones and are pushing heavily into the opposing side. Polands Palabion though taking out some of the players and able to take control back, packing on that huge penalty on Blåbær Siltete.
Yeah, I feel like maybe Blåbær just went a little bit too aggressive afterwards and maybe pushed a little bit too far forward, because they dropped very, very quickly. There was 3 down at one point, which allowed that immediate turnaround from Poland. So yeah, here we go, back into the center. Roy, Booyah Bomb, charging it up, throwing it down. Gets taken out though. There's no trade. It seems like Poland have lost 2 players. Roy was the only one of Blåbær to go down. So what can Poland do to hold the line here? Take a couple of splats. They still have control. Polands Palabion ticking down. They're down to 46. If they can just not lose it completely, they won't get that deficit. But it's being contested. Just a little bit more for Blåbær. There it is.
Just needs a little bit more ink, and they've got Ina there on the back foot, trying to push up into the spawn. Now we see Blåbær Siltete going really aggressive up towards the opposing squad. They are able to pick off 2 splats.
Wow,
Beautiful job right there. Just securing it so that Polands Palabion cannot even get close to the zone.
Yeah, see, that is the benefit of when you do this aggressive pressure, is that you can, if you win the immediate skirmish, you then can hold on to that pressure. But if you lose it, you're going to be struggling. Keen Goon breaks out the inkjet, but gets taken down as well. Right now,
Mustafa, beautiful job at dodging that inkjet. Gets another splat as well. Beautiful job. These last seconds are taking
And
down.
another one.
15 points remaining for Blow by Siltate. Mustafa gets taken down, but we've got the rest of the team alive. 5 seconds left. This is going to be it for Blow by Siltate. They take the game.
Once again, so much work from Mustafa, just getting key splats and just controlling so much space, being that big playmaker. Another knockout. This is looking incredible from Blåbæk today, and it's going to be. I'm going to practice. If they win, I'm going to practice their name until the finals. Because my word.
You got 1 month.
Yeah, great, cool. If I improve, we'll see. But no, 2-0 up right now. Excellent work once again. You know, Palabion doing such a good job to try and fire back. But, you know, that first time, you know, they got this wipeout, they took control, but then they lost it immediately. But the second time, they kept that pressure up, and Palabion just could not come back. Mustafa putting in great work. Kingun just doing excellent work as well, you know, using great inkjet shots, just taking down entire players themselves and surviving it at the same time. Just really good stuff.
I think one of those key plays as well was Mustafa being able to survive and dodge those inkjet shots, take out the inkjet, and take out another player after that once they had sustained pressure. That was just beautiful and let them be able to take that game and the knockout.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's always the best way to win it, to make sure it's really decisive. Like a victory like that, which means that Blåbæk Siltertøy are 1 game away from the Nordic finals in Stockholm on the 2nd of September. It is an exciting time here. They are pushing very hard. They want to end this now. We got Rainmaker as well on Scorched Gorge is the next game, which is going to be pretty intense for potentially a final game. Very aggressive. Palabion really need to dig deep here. They had a good morning. They don't want it to end without at least a little bit of fight back. To go down 3-0 and then 3-0 again, you know, it's not the approach you really want coming into the back end or the business end of this bracket.
Yeah, I mean, they had a great start to the morning, as you mentioned. They also played really great yesterday, being able to qualify for today. But also on some of those games that they did lose, they put up a really great fight, brought some of those matches to really close games. So we'll have to see if they're able to do this reverse sweep now, obviously taking it 1 game at a time. But this is really important for them now if they want to stay alive in this tournament.
Yeah, the pressure is all on them. They've got to take it again 1 step at a time to work towards that reverse sweep if they want to get back into this. It'll be Rainmaker at least, and then Clam blitz, and then we'll end up on tower control if it goes that full distance. Players readying up, and we're about to get underway. Can Blåbæk confirm their place, or will Palabion have a little bit to say about that? Well, we'll find out when we get into Rainmaker very shortly. Right now, in fact, Rainmaker on Scorched Gorge. Let's go.
Let's go.
Okay. It's a difficult score line to be up against if you are Palabion. It's not impossible, though.
Yeah, most definitely. We'll have to see if there are any weapon adjustments here. We do see that Clash Blaster come back. Yeah, we'll have to see who gets that initial pop. That can always be important to get that map control. It looks very contested, but Palabion able to secure that pop. Ina gets a nice splat on that upper end of the map, trying to push forward and maybe take another splat. Does get punished for those efforts, though. Swall with this sloshing machine doing a great job at just inking up, getting some turf for their team to move around, and potentially picking up some splats over here on Eli.
Yeah, they have the Rainmaker. They're going to be trying to just cover this right-hand side. Put a bit of pressure onto Mustafa, who does go down. Roy gets taken. Oh no, gets the booyah bomb off. Excuse me. Needed to just evade an incoming one as well. So there's a little bit of pressure from Palance. They take a little bit of a lead here. Oh, Kingun goes down, gets taken out. It was a bit of a trade, but gets taken down by Eli as well. So
beautiful inkjet trade right over there. Looks like Blow by Siltertøy will let this Rainmaker reset. They want to pop that shield to get some more map control probably.
Mustafa,
beautiful double splash! And
Mustafa.
now the booyah bombs.
He's just doing so much work, just consistently, just like, I wouldn't say carrying the team, but it's doing such a good job of being a catalyst for their success. The checkpoint is basically met. There we go. Broke through the checkpoint. Great stuff there, Mustafa, with these double KOs. Unfortunately, you know, Palabion just being too close together and just being a victim for of Mustafa's. Eli on the edge there with the Inkjet trying to do a little bit of work. Kingun completing theirs as well. There's so many splats on both sides. Palabion, only one person left, as they are, as you can see now. Blaubash trying to make their way there. Push again. Mustafa takes down Kingun once again. Another splat on this player's side. Taking a lot of aggro, pulls back as well. Nice back roll. A wipeout again against Palabion. And you can see Blaubash trying to push up the line. Going to get to that checkpoint if they can. There's so much pressure. They can't get there.
Such a close push right at the end there. Blaubash opening up a lot of space with that wipeout, getting a huge lead against Palabion. We're going to have a look now if they're going to be able to hold it. Mustafa was a key player in that push as well, securing some of those double splats, playing with that splash wall really well, that sub weapon, just utilizing that wall for protection.
This is looking very strong though for Blaubash. There's a couple of trade going out there. I mean, at this point, Palabion really need to deal with Mustafa when Mustafa's finding the flank and getting those KOs in. Lutzi takes down Ina as Palabion are trying to fight back. Kingun Inkjet returns to where they activated. They have the Rainmaker. They're looking to try and get a little bit more control here. Going to take that first checkpoint, but get taken down just beforehand. Couldn't quite get that checkpoint in. Now it's a 3 for 2. Blaubash and Siltate go down. The checkpoint is gained for Palabion.
Kingun doing a lovely job there with that ballpoint splatting. I believe getting 2 splats right before this. Beautiful job. Eli now, though, coming in with that ballpoint splatting, trying to push back this other team. Mustafa pushing in really heavily. Are they going to be able to get that last player? They do. Blaubash Siltate stopping the push now and starting a new push of their own. They've only got 6 points remaining, but they've got to get up to that point, obviously.
Yeah, this is one of those things. It's not impossible when the opponent, you know, it's not over yet. Of course, you know, it is 6. It is a long way to go, but they're still got to get back to that point at least. So if Palabion can just hold on, the timer is not on their side. However, there's a complete wipe, which means that this is the moment that Palabion wanted to try and get a push here, back past that first checkpoint, up that ramp, and get into the enemy base and try and finish this off with a minute left to go. You have to think, how many more chances are they going to get? They have to be patient. They have to be calm and collected here. 2 down against Blaubash once again. They're making a good play here. They lose the Rainmaker, though. There's 2 down on the side of Palabion with 38 seconds on the clock.
What a clutch play from Blaubash Siltate on defense, being able to stop that push. It looks like it's really far, 41 points to 6 points, but those last little bits, you rack up those points so fast. That could have gone in just a couple of seconds had they not been able to get that splat right there.
And Eli doing the dirty thing of just stalling back with the Rainmaker. They need to control it when the time runs out to ensure the victory, and they aren't gonna push forward. I say that and they lose it immediately. It looks like there might be a slight bit of luck or potential chance here. We now hit overtime. Palabion need to gain control of this to stay in the game, and they have managed to grab it. Okay, just as Blaubash were looking to try and grab it again and end the game, they have the Rainmaker. It's not over yet. They saw the end. They managed to just get control. Whew.
Yeah. Really close one here. It looks like the wrong player grabbed the Rainmaker, but they had to grab it at the end. Ina with an aggressive push! And they end the game. Blaubash Siltate securing that final spot in the Stockholm final September 2nd. Let's go!
That was amazing from Ina to do that. There was a massive, the Booyah bomb being thrown out. It pushed them all the way back, and Ina came in just to confirm the KO and finish it off. Excellent finale there. Wonderful stuff from Blaubash Siltate. They take that last spot in the finals, as you said, Charlie.
Yeah, beautiful job here. Mustafa had some really solid push. Eli with those inkjets as well, and Ina was the one to close out the match. Managed to take down that Rainmaker player and stop the overtime right at the end there.
Oh man, it was so much potential and chance for Palabion. They saw it. They stopped. As you said, you stopped it. They got into the overtime. but it was just too much. It was such a good play. And another 3-0. Like, it's so interesting how the teams can be so closely matched, but it's individual moments that can completely shape a series like that. Wonderful stuff from both teams. But yeah, Blåbærs, sending it home for Norway there. So we have the final bracket as it stands. So let's have a look at the results of day 2. So yeah, we started off with all 4 teams, the second and third from day 1 in this bracket. Giflar not losing a single game, cleanly and smoothly through to their finals, and Blåbærs Siltete only losing to Giflar, beating every other team on the way to that finale. So excellent work from them there. P Inc. unfortunately not getting a repeat of their attendance of the finals. Holland Palabion just falling short after a great morning, beating out P Inc. But yeah, there we have it. So alongside Giflar and Blåbærs Siltete will be, of course, Hanky Kanto and Konos, who qualified yesterday.
Gonna be a very fun finals to look forward to. September 2nd, Stockholm LAN. Gonna be really fun to look forward to those matches. Some incredible games today as well. Blåbærs Siltete securing that final spot, and Giflar as well going through. Beautiful stuff.
Yes, indeed. So make sure to keep an eye, obviously, on all the socials. You know, obviously, NOE will be obviously talking about it, but keep an eye on the channels that you are currently watching in terms of YouTube. I believe we're currently also live on other places. I think on Facebook as well. Production will correct me if I'm wrong. But yeah, so make sure to follow and keep an eye on those channels that you're currently on. You will, in order to catch all of that action when it goes live about 3 weeks from now. So exciting times ahead. But yeah, I think for now we're done here on the remote qualifiers. So thank you very much for watching this entire weekend.
Yeah.
Hope you've been enjoying both the games and Charlie and I casting. Charlie, it's been an absolute pleasure. Again, I think
thank you so much.
We first worked together, I think, 4 or 5 years ago. So it's great to work with you again.
It's been
thank you so much.
absolutely amazing. We worked together for the other Splatoon 3 European Championships in Nordic finals in 2018. So a little while ago now.
Yeah, and so it's good to be back, and hopefully we'll have an even more exciting finals for you in just a few weeks when we hit up Stockholm. With that though, we'll say thank you very much for watching. Keep playing Splatoon. If this is your first time watching it or watching competitive Splatoon, probably it isn't for many of you, but if there are some of you out there who are new to it, make sure to perhaps try and find your way to the community. They're a very welcoming lot, and they obviously want more people playing. So support your locals and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, we will sign off for now, and we'll see you in Stockholm for the European Championships of Splatoon 3 2023 Nordic Finals. So until then, thank you very much for watching.
Thank you for watching.
And stay fresh. Cheers.